Chapter 383. This is clearly an early harmonious spirit realm. Is he still hiding his strength? No, it doesn't seem like it. Why do I feel that he has just entered the harmonious spirit realm? Everyone's expression changed again. They realized that even though Lin Xian was not a half-step harmonious spirit realm expert, he was only an early harmonious spirit realm expert. It was impossible for an early harmonious spirit realm expert to injure a late harmonious spirit realm expert with one strike. Just an early harmonious spirit realm expert. I was careless just now and only used 30% of my strength. Now, I will let you know what a true expert is. Jiang Bei said coldly. So that's how it is. He was careless just now. Everyone felt relieved after hearing Jiang Bei's words. I told you that brat can't be this abnormal. Everyone felt relieved and watched again. With the long saber in his hand, Jiang Bei's entire temperament changed. At this moment he was like a wild saber, emitting a wild and tyrannical aura. Cold wind space splitting slash. The long saber slashed out and an endless cold air rushed out. A 10-zhang long blue saber condensed in the air. It was like a 10,000 years old ice blade quickly slashing down. Jiang Jian and the rest's expression changed and their bodies trembled continuously. The aura of this saber made them unable to resist. Even Jiang Yihe frowned. Even he did not have a good way to deal with this attack. In a flash, the blue saber arrived above Lin Xian's head. However, Lin Xian acted as if he did not see it and slowly pulled out the broken autumn scar. Swoosh! The sword slashed through the air. It seemed slow, but the sword aura arrived at Jiang Bei's head in an instant. Such a fast sword. Everyone's heart was beating wildly. Even though Lin Xian made his move later, the sword aura hit his opponent first. Jiang Bei's defense was like tofu, it was easily cut open. Blood spilled out again and Jiang Bei's body fell to the ground. At this moment, Lin Xian gently moved his body, leaving a string of afterimages in the air and easily dodged the blue saber. How is this possible? Everyone was shocked and speechless for a long time. If it was Jiang Bei's carelessness that injured him just now, then what was the reason this time? Jiang Bei had already used all of his strength, but he was still defeated. Moreover, he was defeated even more miserably. What did this mean? It meant that Lin Xian's strength far surpassed Jiang Bei's, which was why he could easily defeat him twice. His strength was too terrifying. Who exactly was he? Everyone in Golden City was confused. Jiang Jian was completely dumbfounded. That sword strike just now was too stunning. He did not have any reaction at all. Only when Jiang Bei fell to the ground did he react. If he were to face Lin Xian, he would have died long ago. A sense of helplessness rose in Jiang Jian's heart. He realized that his swordsmanship was nothing compared to Lin Xian's. Brat, how dare you injure him? The people of Cold Wind City were enraged. Jiang Qinya shouted coldly. His entire body was like a goshawk as he quickly pounced over. Two gigantic blue ice palms appeared in the air and attacked Lin Xian from both sides. The surroundings quickly froze and countless icicles formed in the ice, shooting towards Lin Xian like a rain of arrows. Lin Xian focused his mind and calmed his qi as he slashed out with his sword. Streaks of fine sword light flashed past everyone's hearts, followed by a terrifying sword intent. Everyone trembled as if their souls had been pierced by the sword. When they came back to their senses, they realized that the gigantic ice blue palms and the ice spikes in the sky had all shattered and scattered on the ground. Dragon counter step. Lin Xian's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. When he appeared again, he was already on Jiang Tianya's left side. Flying rainbow. The broken sword stabbed diagonally. The materialized sword qi was like a rainbow as it collided with Jiang Tianya's protective barrier, producing a clanging sound. Clang, clang, clang. Jiang Tianya was indeed a veteran martial artist. His protective barrier was very thick, forcefully blocking this sword strike. However, this resistance only lasted for a moment before it was torn apart by the terrifying sword intent. Jiang Tianya was severely injured and his body flew out. Everyone was completely stunned. Another sword strike defeated the enemy. Even a veteran martial artist like Jiang Tianya was not spared. Elder. The disciples of Cold Wind City were pale as they quickly ran forward. In just a short moment, the elders and genius disciples of their branch were all severely injured. The white-robed youth, Jiang Hong, narrowed his eyes. It seems that I have indeed underestimated you. However, since you dare to injure people in the Jiang clan, you are dead meat. No one can save you. Jiang Hong planned to do it himself. He stepped out with a cold expression. No one can stop me if I want to leave, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Is that so? You can try. Jiang Hong's voice was cold. He raised his palm and an aura that was even stronger than Jiang Tianya's overflowed. This aura made most of the people present tremble. As expected of a core disciple of Green Water Lake. You are indeed extraordinary. You are even stronger than the elders of the branch. Lin Xian flicked his finger. Then, the black cloak behind him fluttered and instantly turned into 3 identical figures, running in 3 different directions. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to have such a secret technique. Jiang Hong was also frowning, but he reacted in an instant. He waved his fist, forming a fist shadow the size of a house, and blasted toward the clone in the center. Boom. A terrifying energy exploded and waves of air rolled in the sky. The clone in the center was blasted into pieces and turned into a rain of light, scattering on the ground. No. Everyone was disappointed and looked into the distance. As expected of a core disciple. Good technique. The crowd exclaimed, thinking that Lin Xian would not be able to escape this time. It turned out that when Jiang Hong attacked the clone in the center, he had also mobilized the spiritual chi of heaven and earth to form a spiritual chi cage, blocking the other 2 clones. Let's see how you can escape. Looking at the clones struggling in the spiritual chi cage, Jiang Hong sneered. Whoosh. Suddenly, a terrifying sword will came from behind Jiang Hong, roaring like an angry dragon. At this critical moment, Jiang Hong could no longer care about his image. He shrunk his body and rolled forward, dodging the terrifying attack. The sword chi brushed past the back of his head. If he had been a second later, the sword chi would have pierced his head. After dodging this dangerous attack, Jiang Hong's face was as black as an iron pot. He turned around abruptly and saw Lin Xian not far behind him. With the broken sword in his hand, Lin Xian stood proudly like a demon. I've said it before. If I want to leave, none of you can stop me. His domineering voice reverberated in the air. At this moment, no one dared to question Lin Xian. Even the powerful Jiang Hong was almost assassinated by his sword. Who else could be Lin Xian's opponent? The 3rd elder and the rest were shocked. They regretted it so much that their intestines turned green. Such a powerful young man must have a terrifying background. If they could befriend him, it would be a great benefit to their family. However, they had given up on such an opportunity. They knew that they would never be able to cross paths with Lin Xian again in this life if they did not help him at the critical moment. Sure enough, Lin Xian did not even look at them when he left. Everyone looked at Lin Xian's back view in shock. Since when did Longxing Nation have such a genius? Chapter 384. He was almost killed just now. How could he be satisfied? But he was not confident that he could defeat Lin Xian now. If he went up recklessly, he might end up worse. So he could only watch as Lin Xian left. Lin Xian left the Jiang clan and walked slowly on the streets of Blackfeather City. He was thinking about his next path. He had fallen out with the Jiang clan and could not go back for a while. Unless something special happened. But he did not regret it. Those people were fierce and wanted to kill him. If he did not fight back, he would have been killed. I can't investigate openly. I can only investigate secretly. Lin Xian decided to find a chance to get close to the Jiang clan. But he would have to wait until after the Jiang clan meeting. Forget it. Let's find a place to stay first. Lin Xian walked toward the inn. Woo woo woo, the little white monkey suddenly made a sound. Its big eyes blinked and were unusually bright. Its furry paws scratched Lin Xian's hair. The little white monkey pointed in a direction and screamed. You mean there's something good there? Lin Xian asked. The little white monkey nodded and pointed at itself with its paws. It has something to do with you? The little monkey nodded excitedly and looked very eager. Okay. I got it. Let's go have a look. Since he had nothing to do, Lin Xian ran in the direction the little white monkey pointed. As he ran, there were fewer and fewer people on the street. Finally, he came to a deserted area. There were not many people on the street. The surrounding houses were very old and covered with dust. It seemed that no one had been here for a long time. Lin Xian looked around and found a villa in front of him. So he walked over. The red door had become very dim and was covered with cobwebs. He pushed the door open and entered. The air inside was somewhat stifling. The smell of dust was everywhere. Lin Xian was secretly alert. He slowly spread out his soul power to check the surroundings. There was no danger in the yard. He looked at the house in front and was about to move. Suddenly, he sensed 2 auras rapidly approaching. Frowning, Lin Xian's body flickered and he brought the little monkey to hide. Just as he hid himself, 2 figures quickly landed in the courtyard. Lin Xian used the black cloak's concealment ability and concealed his aura. Then he used his eye technique to sneak a peek. He saw two figures standing in the courtyard. One of them was a beautiful figure wearing a white dress. Her face was covered by a veil, so he couldn't see her face clearly. However, based on his intuition, Lin Xian knew that this woman must be very beautiful. Beside her was a five-colored peacock. The colorful feathers were like rainbows, extremely beautiful. However, the peacock was very anxious, as if something was attracting it. Lin Xian was greatly astonished that there was something here that had actually attracted two strange beasts. The multicolored peacock and the snow-white monkey were not ordinary demonic beasts. Something that could make them so excited was definitely not ordinary. The snow-white monkey blinked its black gem-like eyes and looked at Lin Xian pitifully. "Don't worry, you'll definitely get it." Lin Xian patted its head and comforted it. The beautiful white figure and the multicolored peacock also looked around cautiously. After making sure that there was no one around, they walked into the house. Lin Xian didn't act rashly. He planned to change his position and continue investigating. At this moment, a cry of surprise came from inside the house. Lin Xian was surprised and quickly spread his senses. Soon, the white figure and the multicolored peacock retreated into the courtyard. The two of them looked into the house nervously, as if they were very afraid of the person inside. "Kiki!" A strange cry came. Then, a figure as red as fire appeared in the courtyard. That person was wearing a red robe with a three-headed bird embroidered on it. It was very strange. "Since you're here, why leave?" The voice was ethereal. "Humph," pretending to be mysterious. The beautiful woman in white snorted. "This peacock is not bad. I'll leave it here." The robe on his body emitted a light, and a red head appeared in front of him. Boom. The head of the strange bird the size of a house opened its mouth and spat out a huge fireball. Like a falling meteor, it burned continuously and quickly rushed towards the multicolored peacock. "Umph." The woman in white snorted and took out a hexagonal ancient mirror. She activated her spiritual power and shone it in front of her. Suddenly, a white light shot out and rushed towards the huge fireball. The air trembled. The white light was like a sharp divine spear, instantly shattering the red fireball. However, the shattered flames quickly changed in the air and rushed towards the multicolored peacock like a rain of fire. The multicolored peacock raised its head proudly. The feathers on its back fluttered, and a green curtain of light appeared. Sizzle. Like ice melting, the flames were quickly extinguished. Seeing this, the multicolored peacock chirped in disdain. "Not bad, it's a mutant peacock. Maybe it'll like it." The man in the red robe laughed sinisterly. He waved his sleeve and swept it downwards. The spiritual energy in the surroundings trembled. A strange bird with a red body appeared on the ground. This bird had 3 heads. However, the eyes on the 2 sides were closed as if they were sleeping. Only the head in the middle was abnormally clear-headed. Its eyes were like rubies. What kind of strange bird is this? Lin Xian was surprised. 3-headed crimson blood bird. I didn't expect to see something like this here. Wine Lord was also surprised. Is it very powerful? Lin Xian asked. It's more than powerful. It's terrifying. An adult 3-headed crimson blood bird can swallow a spirit detecting expert in one gulp. And an adult 3-headed crimson blood bird has the ability to destroy the world. Swallow a spirit detecting expert in one gulp. Lin Xian was shocked. The most powerful martial artist he had seen so far was a spirit detecting expert. A person who could make an entire country submit to him was absolutely terrifying. However, such an expert was only food for the 3-headed crimson blood bird. One could imagine how terrifying the 3-headed crimson blood bird was. That's nothing. Wine Lord snorted. Legend has it that this bird is related to the underworld. Its 3 heads represent 3 elements: fire, wind, and thunder. An adult 3-headed crimson blood bird can reach the level of a venerable without cultivating. What a monster! Lin Xian exclaimed. However, although the 3-headed crimson blood bird is powerful, it's not easy for it to grow. Not only does it require a large amount of wind, fire, and thunder element resources, but it also requires the blood of other demonic beasts. It can only reach adulthood after 100 years. That's more like it. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief after hearing the harsh conditions. This person has a 3-headed crimson blood bird. Could it be that he's luring people here so that he can swallow their blood essence? Lin Xian became alert. When the 3-headed crimson blood bird appeared in the courtyard, the 5-colored peacock was extremely uneasy. Its body emitted a green glow, forming a thick defense. Kiki, be obedient and become its food, the red-robed man said. Just as he was about to make a move, another powerful aura quickly approached the courtyard. The white-robed woman turned around looking cautious. The red-robed man, on the other hand, was ecstatic. Chapter 385. A powerful aura surrounded him, forming a gust of wind that blew everything away. Beside him was a majestic lion whose entire body was suffused with a golden color. Moreover, there was a fine line on the golden lion's forehead that looked like a closed eye. Kiki, another one has come. It seems that today's food is very sumptuous. The red-robed man's voice floated, filled with joy. Humph. The azure-armored man frowned and said coldly, "Did you lead us here?" "Not you but them." The red-robed man pointed at the five-colored peacock and the golden lion. Brr. The golden lion let out a low roar as if it could pounce on it at any time. The azure-armored man patted the golden lion's head, warning it not to act rashly. Suddenly, the golden lion revealed a puzzled expression. The third vertical line on its forehead emitted a faint light that quickly swept in all directions. Finally, it locked onto a direction and roared again. In the courtyard, the white-robed woman and the red-robed man were also surprised and looked in that direction. "Who is it? Come out." The azure-armored man snorted and waved his hand. The surrounding spiritual energy gathered to form a blood-colored spear. Then, the blood-colored spear turned into an afterimage in the air and quickly pierced forward. Boom. The stone pillar in front of them was instantly pierced and the terrifying energy exploded everything. A black figure landed lightly on the ground. The white-robed woman and the red-robed man's expressions changed. They had been here for a long time but didn't notice that there was someone beside them. The red-robed man was even more shocked. His strength was extraordinary and his cultivation had reached the spirit transformation realm, but he still didn't notice that there was someone hiding beside him. Suddenly, the three people and three beasts all looked at that person. It was a handsome young man of about 17 or 18 years old. He wore a black robe and had a fierce look in his eyes. There was a snow-white little monkey sitting on his shoulder looking very cute. This person was none other than Lin Xian, who was also extremely shocked. Originally he had hidden very well. Even a spirit transformation realm expert couldn't discover him, but somehow he was discovered by the golden lion. That lion is also a natural mutant. It's said that the third eye on its forehead can see everything. Although he hasn't fully matured yet, his vigilance surpasses that of a spirit transformation realm cultivator, the Wine Lord transmitted. So that's how it is. I didn't expect there to be such a mystical Yao beast. Lin Xian exclaimed. Who are you? Why are you hiding there? The green-armored man asked in a deep voice. Just like you guys, I was lured here by this person, Lin Xian shrugged and explained. Wuji, the little white monkey nodded and made a funny face at the crowd. At this moment, the three of them finally noticed the snow-white monkey on Lin Xian's shoulder. However, other than being cute, there didn't seem to be anything special about the little monkey. So weak. What a useless monkey. The red-robed man snorted. He didn't sense the little white monkey's abnormality and immediately snorted disdainfully. What he needed was a mutated beast or a beast with powerful blood essence. Only then could his three-headed vermilion blood bird evolve. When the little white monkey heard this, it immediately became unhappy. It bared its fangs and glared at the red-robed man, then made a series of gestures. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man revealed strange expressions. They easily understood what the little white monkey was trying to say. The little monkey seemed to be saying that it was unique and that the red-robed man had eyes but couldn't see and didn't know what was good. What a clever little monkey. It seems like it's not ordinary either, the white-robed woman said softly. The little white monkey nodded in agreement. Humph, you're courting death. The red-robed man coldly shouted. No matter what, these three beasts are mine. A powerful aura suddenly rose from his body like a sea of blood. It was terrifying and monstrous. You want our companions? Dream on. The white-robed woman snorted. The green-armored man also revealed a trace of killing intent. You want our beasts? You're really arrogant. Everyone be careful. If the three-headed vermilion blood bird wants to grow, it needs the blood essence of other mutated beasts. That's why he lured us here, so that the strange bird can eat other beasts. Lin Xian exposed the red-robed man's trick. I didn't expect you to know the three-headed vermilion blood bird. The red-robed man was surprised. So what if I know it? He sneered. Since the three of you are here, don't even think about leaving. You think you can stop me? The light-armored man laughed disdainfully. The spirit energy on his body condensed into a long spear, as if it could see through the heaven and earth. Late harmonious spirit realm. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. This aura was much stronger than Jianghu's. Just me. The red-robed man shouted in a low voice. His body emitted an even stronger aura. Spirit transformation realm. The white-robed woman exclaimed. The gap between the harmonious spirit realm and the spirit transformation realm was like an insurmountable gap. They were only harmonious spirit realm warriors, so they couldn't win against a spirit transformation realm warrior. Lin Xian was also shocked. He didn't expect the red-robed man to be hiding his strength. He didn't even sense it. The green-armored man's expression also changed. He stared at the red-robed man cautiously. Facing a spirit transformation realm warrior, he could only choose to retreat. Lin Xian and the others also had the same idea. The three of them quickly left in three different directions. Do you think you can run away? The red-robed man roared. His palms were constantly changing seals. Suddenly, countless blood-red waves appeared around the courtyard, forming a sea of blood that sealed everyone inside. Damn it, it's a formation. The man from the Qing family shouted angrily. He punched out with a force that could split a mountain. However, this force only caused a few ripples when it hit the sea of blood. Don't waste your energy, you can't escape. Hand over the demonic beast and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise you will suffer endless torture. The red-robed man's voice was cold, as if it came from hell. Wine Lord, can you break it? Lin Xian asked. He was also hindered. With my current condition, I'm afraid it will take me a while to find it. Wine Lord said. Lin Xian nodded. He was prepared to stall for time. The two of you, we can only work together now. Lin Xian said. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man nodded. They both wanted to work together. You want to fight me with just the two of you? The red-robed man sneered. The gap between the harmonious spirit realm and the spirit transformation realm was not small. This was common knowledge that everyone knew. Today, 3 harmonious spirit realm warriors dared to attack him. They were undoubtedly courting death. Moreover, one of them was an early harmonious spirit realm brat. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Then the red-robed man turned into a blood-red shadow and rushed toward Lin Xian. Not good. Chapter 386. In a moment of desperation, the two of them could only throw out a few attacks in an attempt to restrain the red-robed man. However, the red-robed man ignored their attacks because of his powerful cultivation. He quickly rushed toward Lin Xian. With a slap, a bloody palm appeared in the sky, carrying a pungent smell of blood. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. The great dragon sword in his body surged, ready to attack at any moment. The other two were at the late harmonious spirit realm while he was only at the early harmonious spirit realm. Naturally, the red-robed man thought that he was the weakest. However, if someone really thought so, they would be gravely mistaken. Lin Xian could see that the red-robed man did not use his full strength in this attack. His eyes flashed as he found a flaw in the attack and stabbed out with his sword. The long sword was like a dragon. A terrifying sword intent gushed out like an angry dragon roaring, causing people's hearts to tremble. The thick sea of blood was split apart and scattered to the sides. The huge bloody palm in the sky was also pierced with a terrifying sword mark. The great dragon sword intent was crazily destroying everything. Clang. The broken autumn scar sword hit the red-robed man's palm, creating countless sparks. Waves of energy quickly spread out in all directions. Lin Xian felt a strong impact. He quickly used the silver lightning body to resist this force. Chi-chi. His body slid for more than 10 meters before stopping. The red-robed man was also surprised. Although that sword strike didn't injure him, it caused his palm to ache faintly. An early harmonious spirit realm brat was able to make him feel pain. This was impossible. In the distance, the white-robed woman and the middle-aged man were shocked. Lin Xian's strength was beyond their expectations. That attack just now, even they could not do better than Lin Xian. It seemed like there was a great chance for him to escape this time. The green-armored man clenched his fist. Interesting. Seems like I have underestimated you. The red-robed man slowly moved his palm and said. Lin Xian's heart sank. That terrifying sword attack did not hurt the red-robed man. This gave him a new understanding of spirit transformation realm warriors. Of course, he didn't use his full strength in that strike. At least, he only used 50% of his 70% sword intent. What a shocking sword intent. It seems like it's around 50%. If I let you continue to grow, you'll be in danger. The red-robed man's eyes were gloomy. I love killing geniuses like you the most. Attack together. The azure-armored man shouted. A long spear appeared in his hand, and his aura erupted like a flash flood. The spear pierced out like a dragon emerging from the sea with a majestic momentum. On the other side, the white-clothed woman activated the ancient mirror in her hand with all her strength, shooting out a white light beam that was as thick as a mountain. Lin Xian activated his 50% sword intent, and sword chi swept out in all directions. Every sword strike contained a powerful killing intent. The long spear, the ancient mirror, and the sword chi quickly rushed towards the red-robed man in the center. Boundless blood sea. The red-robed man raised his hands to the sky, and a red ball of energy appeared on his body and quickly spread out. Boom. Crimson waves of blood surged, and all the attacks that hit them were quickly dissolved. In the blood sea, arc-shaped ripples appeared, forming a powerful suction force that seemed to want to devour people. Lin Xian used the Dragon Rebel step, and his figure was like a ghost as he quickly dodged. However, the blood sea seemed to have no boundaries, and it kept chasing after him. Wind Slayer. He used his eye technique to find the weak point, and the sword chi that was like a gale tore open a crack. In the other two directions, the white-clothed woman and azure-armored man also narrowly avoided the attacks. No, he's too strong. The white-clothed woman's face was slightly pale. That attack just now was just a casual attack from the red-robed man, and the three of them had to use all their strength to dodge it. It couldn't be helped. Although the spirit transformation realm and the harmonious spirit realm only had a difference of one word, the gap between them was huge. After entering the spirit transformation realm, the harmonious spirit realm couldn't compare with the heaven and earth spiritual energy. Try this move, Blood Sea Spirit Transformation. The red-robed man seemed to be toying with the three of them. He waved his hand and red spiritual energy shot out. Suddenly, countless demonic beasts appeared in the blood sea. They had all kinds of forms and they were ferocious and terrifying. Boom. 100 Jianghu long blood python rushed towards the white-clothed woman, bringing with it terrifying winds and clouds. A giant elephant as big as a mountain rushed towards the azure-armored man. A 10-meter-tall four-armed demonic bear rushed towards Lin Xian. The scene was terrifying as if a real demonic beast was reborn. This was the ability of the spirit transformation realm. They could use their own spiritual energy to transform into other demonic beasts, unlike the harmonious spirit realm who could only squander their spiritual energy. These should be the demonic beasts he killed before. Wine Lord said. What? Lin Xian was shocked. So many powerful demonic beasts and they were all killed. He was on full alert, not daring to be careless. A great battle broke out and the sky was filled with dazzling lights. The four-armed black bear's every attack was comparable to a late harmonious spirit realm warrior, and its strength was boundless. An ordinary harmonious spirit realm warrior would have been killed long ago. Lin Xian also relied on his nimble movement technique to deal with it. At this moment, the power of the art of longevity was finally displayed. This mysterious technique that he had been cultivating since the beginning was now displaying its formidable power. Under the effect of the art of longevity, Lin Xian felt that his absorption of spiritual energy in the surroundings had increased. This speed was far beyond what a harmonious spirit realm warrior could achieve. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, the quality of a technique was reflected in the absorption of spiritual energy from heaven and earth. The faster the absorption, not only would the warrior be able to maintain a powerful combat strength, but the power of each attack would also increase. This unknowingly increased the warrior's combat strength. Normally, a warrior with a high-level technique would be able to crush a warrior with a low-level technique. As for Lin Xian's art of longevity, it was likely that even an Earth-class cultivation method would not be able to compare to it. Boom. With a slash of his sword, the green sword chi turned into a ferocious giant dragon, coiling around the four-armed black bear. Transformation. The red-robed man was shocked. No, this isn't a transformation technique of a spirit transformation realm warrior, maybe it's a special technique. The red-robed man shook his head, but the power of his attack still shocked him. Although Lin Xian's cultivation was the lowest among the three, it seemed that his strength was the most terrifying. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man were only able to fight to a draw with the blood sea beast, but Lin Xian was able to suppress it. Lin Xian not only had a mystical technique like the art of longevity, but also an offensive saint technique like the great dragon sword seal, which could transform into anything. In the eyes of outsiders, it was simply a technique of a spirit transformation realm warrior. The giant green dragon coiled around the four-armed black bear, preventing it from moving. Lin Xian jumped up and quickly slashed out with the green cloud sword art. The sword chi of the cloud slashing sword was incomparably ethereal. A fine sword flew out like a white cloud. Buff. Two arms that were like heavenly pillars were chopped off and fell into the blood sea, stirring up thousands of waves. Sudden thunder. In the sky above, silver lightning fell, forming a six-pointed formation and suddenly crashed down. Brr. The blood sea demonic bear was struck by the lightning, and its bloody body quickly melted. It was originally formed by blood chi, so it was innately afraid of lightning. In a flash, the giant demonic bear turned into a pool of blood. Umph. The red-robed man snorted and withdrew the blood sea beast. Chapter 387. They had seen Lin Xian's performance just now, and it was indeed amazing. However, although they were amazed, they did not feel inferior. They also had their own martial techniques. What tricks are you trying to play now? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. It's easy to kill you, but before that, I'll let you watch a good show. The red-robed man sneered. Then the three-headed vermilion blood bird beside him walked out. Jie, it's time to eat. The three-headed vermilion blood bird cried excitedly. The head in the middle kept turning, and its body emitted a fiery red light. He first targeted the five-colored peacock. As soon as he opened his head, the surrounding spiritual energy rolled and quickly formed a huge fireball. This strange bird can control the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It's really powerful. Lin Xian frowned. A red light flashed, and the fireball in the sky rushed toward the five-colored peacock with a terrifying heat wave. How dare you! The white-robed lady struck out with her palm, and the fireball was blown away. The three-headed vermilion blood bird cried angrily, and its wings flapped rapidly, forming an endless flame. If you don't want to die right now, then stay here until you die. The red-robed man stomped his foot, forming a blood-red prison that pressed down on the white-robed lady. The white-robed lady struggled with all her might, but she couldn't break free. Now let's enjoy it. Lin Xian was silent. The red-robed man was obviously training the three-headed vermilion blood bird. However, this gave Lin Xian a chance. During this time, Wine Lord could find a flaw in the formation. As long as they could find it, they would be able to escape with their strength. The three-headed vermilion blood bird spread its wings and flew in circles in the sky like a burning flame. With an ear-piercing cry, it turned into a fiery red light and rushed down. Next to it were fireballs that looked like a rain of fire. Perhaps a harmonious spirit realm warrior would not be able to withstand such power. The five-colored peacock emitted a green light, forming a natural barrier in front of it, blocking all the fireballs. At the same time, the feathers on its body were like eyes in the sky, shooting out dark green light. Bus, bus, bus. Like thousands of divine spears in the sky, the attack was enough to kill a harmonious spirit realm warrior 1,000 times over. Crack. The three vermilion blood birds were as fast as lightning. Their sharp claws were comparable to precious weapons as they tore through the void. Lin Xian was surprised. These two demonic beasts were much stronger than ordinary harmonious spirit realm warriors. He couldn't help but worry about the little white monkey. He never knew what the monkey's bottom line was, and he didn't know if the little white monkey could withstand the attack of the three-headed vermilion blood bird. However, the snow-white little monkey's face was filled with excitement. There was no trace of fear on its face. It seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's emotions and patted Lin Xian's shoulder with its furry little paw, looking as if it could do it. Lin Xian was so angry that he laughed. He rubbed the little white monkey's head and continued to watch the battle. In the sky, the two strange beasts turned into two streaks of red and green light. They kept colliding, creating countless sparks in the sky. In the end, the three crimson blood birds spat out a palm-sized purple flame, which pierced through the five-colored peacock's green barrier. As soon as the flames appeared, the void distorted. Plop. The five-colored peacock fell beside the white-robed woman, its body trembling non-stop. Clearly it was severely injured. Ainen. The white-robed woman cried out in alarm. She struggled to break free and quickly held the five-colored peacock tightly. Fortunately, the five-colored peacock was only burned. Its life was not in danger. The white-robed woman sighed. She knew that it wasn't because the five-colored peacock was weak, but because it hadn't fully matured yet. A fully matured five-colored peacock would be able to unleash the five-colored divine light that could wipe out everything in the world. The one in her hand could only unleash one type of divine light at the moment. After defeating the five-colored peacock, the three crimson blood birds set their eyes on the golden lion. Brr. The golden lion let out a low roar. It leaped and arrived in front of the three crimson blood birds in an instant. Its sharp claws were even more terrifying than the sword energy and blade light. It directly grabbed the head of the bird. Swoosh. The 3 crimson blood birds turned into a streak of flame and nimbly dodged the attack. Boom. The ground cracked, creating a terrifying crack that spread far and wide. The fiery red light shone. The 3 crimson blood birds spread their wings and dived down. Under its control, the purple flame appeared in the sky again. The void distorted. A flame that could kill a late harmonious spirit realm expert flew toward the golden lion. Lin Xian could feel the terrifying heat even from afar. He was afraid that even his silver lightning body might not be able to withstand it. It's worthy of being a legendary beast. It has such strength at such a young age. How enviable. Lin Xian took a deep breath and asked, "Wine Lord, have you found the flaw?" "It will take some time. I can only rely on your soul power to sense it. The efficiency is very low," Wine Lord explained. Lin Xian could only wait patiently. He looked at the courtyard again. The golden lion remained motionless. The moment the purple flame fell, it quickly leaped to the side. Boom. A terrifying crater was formed on the ground. The bottom of the crater couldn't be seen. The golden lion's body emitted a golden light. The vertical lines on its forehead emitted an endless amount of light. A power that made people's hearts palpitate appeared out of thin air. An illusory door appeared behind it. It was pitch black like the door to hell. Could this lion be? The red-robed man looked at the pitch-black door. A trace of shock appeared on his face. He seemed to have thought of something but he wasn't sure. Impossible. How could such a beast appear here? Maybe it's just its descendant. The red-robed man denied his idea. He thought that it was just the descendant of an ancient beast. Although it had the power of bloodline, it wasn't strong. Even so, its power was enough to kill any harmonious spirit realm expert. The 3-headed vermilion blood bird looked cautious. Its fiery red eyes stared at the door. Its 2 heads trembled slightly as if they were about to wake up. The vertical lines on the golden lion's forehead emitted a dazzling light as if it was about to open at any moment. The pitch-black door behind it was also trying to open. The green-armored man was nervous. This golden lion hadn't grown up yet. If it rashly activated its third eye, there would be terrible consequences. On the other side, the red-robed man didn't want the other 2 heads to wake up too early. Therefore he quickly stopped the battle. The green-armored man heaved a sigh of relief and called back the golden lion. The 3-headed crimson blood bird also let out a low cry with dissatisfaction. However, it did not continue to fight with the golden lion. It turned its head and looked at the little white monkey. This time, a hint of disdain could be seen in its eyes. The other 2 also looked at the little white monkey with worry in their eyes. In their opinion, the snow-white monkey didn't show any signs of abnormality. It probably couldn't withstand the attack of the 3-headed vermilion blood bird. The little white monkey, on the other hand, had an excited look on its face as it waved its furry little paws and performed its self-created monkey fist. With a stomp of its feet, it flew out like a snowball. The 3-headed vermilion blood bird let out a dissatisfied cry and opened its mouth to spit out a red fireball. Chapter 388. However, Snow White Little Who made a face in the air and then slowly dodged. Whoosh. The little monkey disappeared into thin air and reappeared in front of the 3-headed vermilion bird. Boom. Its furry paw slapped the 3-headed vermilion bird's head. The head in the middle was stunned and felt dizzy for a moment. Woogie woogie. The little white monkey jumped up and kicked the 3-headed vermilion bird away. The woman in white and the man in light armor were stunned. They stared at the little white monkey and couldn't calm down for a long time. The red-robed man's face darkened and there was a trace of murderous intent in his eyes. Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect the little white monkey to be so powerful. Buff, buff. The 3-headed vermilion bird got up from the ground and kept flapping its wings. Its red eyes were cold. The 3-headed vermilion bird was covered in purple flames. It was full of danger. Even now, its head was still in a daze, which was a disgrace to it. On the other side, the little white monkey stretched out its furry paw and waved its paw provocatively. Boom. The 3-headed vermilion bird exploded and unleashed purple flames that covered the sky. However, the little white monkey was very fast. It was like a bolt of white lightning and could easily dodge the purple flames every time. The azure-armored man and the woman in white were shocked. They didn't think the little white monkey would win, but its performance was amazing. Not only was it not injured, but it even suppressed the 3-headed vermilion bird. Is this little monkey also a kind of ancient beast? The 2 of them were surprised. The 5-colored peacock and the golden lion beside them looked at the little white monkey with a hint of fear in their eyes. The red-robed man's face darkened. His 3-headed vermilion bird was frighteningly big. Martial artists below the spirit transformation realm were no match for it. Ordinary beasts were no match for it. However, this ancient strange bird was being played by a little monkey of unknown origin. It was hard for him to accept. Damn it, what is that monkey? How can it be so powerful? In the courtyard, the three-headed vermilion bird was furious. Not only did it fail to hurt the little white monkey, but it was also knocked out. It flapped its wings and the left side of its head shook quickly. The red eyelid on the head that had been sleeping for a long time seemed to twitch. Suddenly, the sound of thunder came out of the purple sea of flames and purple lightning appeared vaguely. Is it going to open? The woman in white and the azure-armored man felt a tremor from their souls. Lin Xian's face darkened. The snow-white little marquis seemed to have sensed danger. His pitch-black eyes seemed to have turned into two black holes, rapidly spinning. An aura that was even more terrifying than the purple lightning emanated from its body. Everyone present was stunned. The red-robed man's expression was extremely unsightly because that power was enough to threaten his life. In the distance, the red-robed man was shocked. He didn't dare to let the three-headed vermilion bird continue fighting. At the same time, Wine Lord also found a flaw in the formation. "Little White, come back!" Lin Xian softly shouted. The little monkey's body trembled and revealed a confused expression. The two black vortexes in its eyes quickly disappeared. It quickly regained its lively expression. "I have found the exit of the formation. Please follow me." Lin Xian quickly transmitted his voice. The woman in white withdrew her five-colored peacock and ran toward Lin Xian with the azure-armored man. The three of them ran toward a corner in the southwest. "Junior, you dare!" The red-robed man was furious. That was the flaw in his formation. But this flaw was very well hidden. Even a spirit transformation realm cultivator might not be able to find it. How did these three find it? Was it luck? The red-robed man couldn't think of any other reason. But even if it was luck, he wouldn't allow the three of them to leave. He once again released the monstrous sea of blood. Countless terrifying sea of blood monsters charged toward Lin Xian and the other two. The red-robed man himself also quickly rushed over. "Don't hold back anymore or you'll really die," Lin Xian shouted. He waved the broken sword in his hand and drew a strange trajectory in the air. Suddenly, the clouds in the sky churned and a huge ancient sword quickly appeared in the air. This aura is so terrifying. The white-robed woman and azure-armored man's pupils shrank as they looked at Lin Xian in shock. They realized that this was Lin Xian's true strength. "Open." The azure-armored man no longer held back when he saw the red-robed man moving quickly. He held the spear in his right hand and summoned a blood-colored flag with his left hand. The flag fluttered in the air. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure appeared around him. It was as if the entire world was being stared at. "The Great Flag Sect," the white-robed woman exclaimed. The red-robed man in the distance was also shocked. The Great Flag Sect was as famous as the Dragon Elephant Sect. It was also one of the 6 top powers in the Rising Dragon country. Lin Xian quickly recalled this information. He did not expect the azure-armored man to be from the Great Flag Sect. Even if you're from the Great Flag Sect, don't even think about leaving. After the red-robed man recovered from his shock, a strong killing intent appeared in his eyes again. The blood sea around them became more realistic. The heavy waves made the three of them tremble. The white-robed woman did not care about hiding her strength anymore. She activated the energy in her body with all her might. Behind her, a blurry shadow appeared. It held a crystal jade bottle and emitted endless radiance. "This is the bloodline of the Jiang clan." The red-robed man was shocked again. Jiang clan? Lin Xian was also shocked. He did not expect the white-robed woman to be from the Jiang clan. Moreover, the Jiang clan seemed to have a mysterious bloodline power. It seemed that these big powers were not simple. After Lin Xian defeated Jiang Hong, he did not put the Jiang clan's disciples in his eyes. It seemed that he was too rash. The Jiang clan clearly had a terrifying bloodline power. It was just that he had not encountered it yet. In the sky, the huge ancient sword roared and slashed down with an aura that could shatter mountains and rivers. The blurry shadow behind the white-robed woman also shot out a silvery waterfall and rushed forward. In the sky, the azure-armored man held the blood-red flag and stirred up the heaven and earth. These three forces had exceeded the limit of a harmonious spirit realm warrior. Even the red-robed man, who was a spirit transformation realm warrior, felt his heart tremble. If it was only one of the attacks, he was confident that he could break it. Even if there were two, he was not afraid. However, all three of the attacks were so terrifying that he was in an extremely dangerous situation. Break. He quickly put away the 3 crimson blood birds and merged the blood sea into his body. Layers of demonic red ripples surged out from his body and formed an indescribable force that protected him. Lin Xian and the other 2 could not care less about the red-robed man. If the energy in the courtyard exploded, they would be dead for sure. However, the snow-white little monkey disappeared with a whoosh. Chapter 389. The broken sword pierced out, bringing with it a shocking sword will. Wind Emperor's sword. Crack, crack, crack. The Autumn Scar broken sword had just used the Gale Lightning sword, and now it had to endure the terrifying sword will. Finally, it could not hold on any longer and shattered into pieces. However, Lin Xian used his arm as a substitute for a sword and still unleashed a terrifying attack. The other 2 also unleashed powerful attacks, and finally tore apart the array defense before the energy explosion. Whoosh! The little white monkey quickly returned like a bolt of lightning and went back into the storage ring. The red-robed man's angry yell came from behind. "Ah! I'm going to kill you all. Let's go." The 3 of them turned into rays of light and quickly left the place. Lin Xian and the other 2 tore apart the array defense, and turned into a bolt of lightning and quickly left the place. Not long after they left, the courtyard let out a deafening roar. Rows of air waves quickly spread out, and a dark mushroom cloud rushed into the sky. The shockwave immediately alerted all the elites in Blackfeather City, and many of them extended their divine senses to check out what was going on. However, these people did not find anything because the entire courtyard was blown into a deep abyss that was almost 100 meters deep, and there were no clues left. On a quiet street 1,000 meters away from the dilapidated courtyard, a mysterious red-robed man staggered as he leaned against the wall, his eyes fixed on the sky. "Damn it, the 3 of you, I'll remember this." The red-robed man's voice was cold and filled with murderous intent. "And that damned monkey, I'll tear you into pieces." He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. It was at the last moment that the snow-white monkey stole his 1,000-beast fruit. That fruit was extremely precious, and it was something he used to attract other monsters. Now that it was stolen by the little white monkey, how could he not be angry? However, his current identity and condition could not be tracked, so he could only give up. For him, the most important thing now was to heal his injuries. The terrifying attack from Lin Xian and the other 2 was powerful, and it caused him to suffer heavy internal injuries. If he did not have a secret escape technique, he would have died here today. His body turned into a red ray of light, and the red-robed man quickly left Blackfeather City. Lin Xian and the other 2 finally arrived at a safe place and breathed a sigh of relief. "Nice to meet the 2 of you. I am Yi Qian Xing," the azure-armored man said. "Lin Xian. Jiang Yuding." The 3 of them got to know each other. "Brother Lin, Miss Jiang, I still have something to do. I'll take my leave first." The green-armored man quickly left. Lin Xian was just thinking about how to deal with this genius girl of the Jiang family. Suddenly, Jiang Yuding's face changed, revealing a very anxious expression. She exclaimed and quickly summoned the multicolored peacock from her demonic beast pouch. With a flash of light, the 5-colored peacock appeared on the ground. At this moment it was not in a good state. Its originally bright feathers had become pitch black, and its eyes were dim without a trace of light. What was even more serious was that there was an inextinguishable purple flame in his body that was currently tormenting his body. "And then how are you?" Jiang Yuding asked anxiously. She could also feel the purple flames inside the peacock's body, but she didn't know what to do. This peacock had grown up with her and could be considered her good friend. Furthermore, the 5-colored peacock was an ancient mutated species and was extremely precious. Regardless of the reason, Jiang Yuding didn't want anything to happen to the 5-colored peacock. However, the more anxious she was, the more serious the 5-colored peacock's injuries became. In the end, Jiang Yuding cried out loud. Looking at the crying Jiang Yuding and the 5-colored peacock lying on the ground in extreme pain, Lin Xian touched his nose helplessly. "Wine Lord, do you have a way?" Lin Xian asked through voice transmission. "Who am I? Of course I have a way." Wine Lord snorted. "However, this purple flame is very strange and has an inextinguishable aura, so it's more troublesome to deal with." "It's good that you have a way." Lin Xian was relieved. "Well, I might have a way to treat it," Lin Xian said to Jiang Yuding. "Really? You really have a way?" Jiang Yuding raised her head. On that beautiful face, there were still crystal-clear tears, making her look very pitiful. Lin Xian was slightly stunned. As expected of a beauty, she was so beautiful even when she cried. Taking a deep breath, he nodded silently. That's great. Hurry up and treat it. Jiang Yuding suddenly stood up and grabbed Lin Xian's hand tightly. Don't get too excited. Let me examine it carefully. Lin Xian felt a strange warmth from his hand and said with a smile. Jiang Yuding calmed down and realized that she was still holding Lin Xian's hand. She immediately blushed and quickly withdrew her hand. Lin Xian smiled and didn't say anything. Instead, he slowly squatted down and stroked the 5-colored peacock's feathers. His strong soul power slowly spread out. At the same time, Wine Lord could also feel everything through his soul power. As expected of the 3-headed crimson blood bird, this flame has a trace of destructive aura. If it was an ordinary demonic beast, it would have died long ago. Even a rank 7 demonic beast wouldn't be able to withstand this power. Fortunately, this 5-colored peacock is also an ancient mutated species. Its bloodline is extremely strong, which is why it can withstand it. However, it's still too young. Some of its potential hasn't been stimulated. If it takes too long, it might leave serious injuries. At that time, its growth potential will probably reach its limit. Isn't there, Wine Lord? No matter how serious the injuries are, as long as you take action, it'll be easy. Lin Xian smiled. If this flattery feels good, say a few more. Jiu Yi snorted. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. He began to ask about the way to save it. To treat this peacock, we have to first remove the purple flames in its body. Then we have to use pills to nurse it back to health. So the most important thing is how to remove the purple flames. Wine Lord said. How do we remove it? Lin Xian asked. To remove the flames, we have to use items of extreme cold. But for you, you don't need to use these. Your sword intent is based on the Great Dragon Sword Seal. It can destroy the purple flames in this peacock. However, you have to be careful when you use your sword intent. You can't hurt it at all. Lin Xian got the answer and slowly stood up. It can be treated, but we have to bring it to a safe place first. Jiang Yuding nodded. She knew that the treatment process wouldn't be easy, so she couldn't be disturbed. Follow me. My house is nearby. Jiang Yuding put away the 5-colored peacock and quickly ran with Lin Xian. Soon the two arrived at the Jiang clan residence. Looking at the majestic and domineering door, Lin Xian had a strange expression on his face. In just one day he came here again. However, his identity was completely different this time. Miss. When the guards saw Jiang Yuding, they all bowed and greeted her. Miss. Looks like this girl's status isn't low. Lin Xian pondered. Chapter 390. Because Jiang Yuding was a disciple of the Jiang clan, he wanted to find Jiang Sanfeng through her. Jiang Yuding nodded slightly, and then quickly pulled Lin Xian into the Jiang manor. What did I just see? Miss is pulling a young man in. That's impossible. I must be dreaming. The two guards panicked. Doesn't Miss hate those men? Why is she walking with a strange man? The guards did not know Lin Xian, so they did not know that Lin Xian had been here once. Entering the Jiang manor, Jiang Yuding led Lin Xian into the depths of the manor with ease. Soon the two came to an exquisite pavilion. Mr. Lin, please come in. Jiang Yuding pushed the door open. Lin Xian chuckled and quickly walked in. However, when he entered, he was clearly stunned. Inside the room there were pink decorations everywhere, and there was a faint fragrance in the air. This was clearly a woman's boudoir. Needless to say, this must be Jiang Yuding's room. Looks like this chick must be in a hurry to bring a stranger into her boudoir. Lin Xian looked around curiously and found that the decorations in the room were very exquisite. Although it was not luxurious, it had a simple and elegant air. After closing the door and windows, Jiang Yuding summoned the 5-colored peacock again, and a pair of gem-like eyes stared at Lin Xian. Mr. Lin, please save Anan. Lin Xian nodded and began to use his sword will to save the 5-colored peacock. While Lin Xian was saving the 5-colored peacock, the entire Jiang manor was in a state of jubilation. At this time the Jiang clan was holding a family meeting and it was very lively. Other than a dozen branches, there were also other forces in Blackfeather City who came to watch. The place was full of guests and the Jiang clan leader Jiang Tianyu looked around with joy. Good swordsmanship, this competition is much better than before. A middle-aged man laughed loudly. This man was the lord of the Eagle Fortress, Eagle Mountain. The Eagle Fortress was also a dominant force in Blackfeather City, and had business dealings with the Jiang clan. Compared to the disciples of the Eagle Fortress, these kids are still lacking a lot, Jiang Tianyu replied with a smile. At this moment, Jiang Jian was fighting in the arena. His opponent was a Greenwater Lake disciple. Jiang Jian brandished his sword, and the silver light in the sky formed dots of light that pierced into the void. In an instant, the Greenwater Lake disciple was surrounded by silver sword auras from all directions. He could only raise his defenses and was forced to resist. Boom! The silver light slashed down and pierced through the disciple's defensive barrier, sending him flying. This brat doesn't seem to be a disciple of your Greenwater Lake? Eagle Castle's castle master Ing Taizhan was astonished. A main clan disciple was actually defeated by a branch disciple. Jiang clan head, your disciples aren't that great. Next to him, a red-haired man sneered. This burly man was full of energy and his voice was burning hot. As he spoke, the surrounding air trembled. This person was from the Red Leaves aristocratic family. The Red Leaves aristocratic family and the Jiang clan were both part of the 4 aristocratic families of the Dragonstar superpower nation. At this moment, it was normal for words to provoke each other. The main clan's branch disciples are all disciples of my Jiang clan. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. Jiang Tianyu looked magnanimous. The red-haired man sneered, not believing his words at all. As a disciple of an aristocratic family, he naturally knew the difference between a branch disciple and a main clan disciple. Which branch is this young man from? Jiang Tianyu asked the person next to him. Clan head, he's a disciple of the Green Mountain City branch. Jiang Tianyu nodded. His swordsmanship is not bad. You can pay more attention to him. The purpose of holding the clan assembly was to find genius disciples from the various branches and nurture them to serve the clan. Therefore, any disciple who performed outstandingly in the clan assembly would be heavily nurtured by the Jiang clan. Jiang Li is here. Looks like that brat is going to lose. Eagle Castle's castle master was excited. Next to him, there was a young man with an arrogant expression. He looked at the arena with a trace of disdain. On the arena, a young man in a white robe appeared. He held a green bamboo in his hand. Not bad, but stop here. Jiang Li said indifferently. Jiang Jian held his long sword tightly with a serious expression. He could feel the pressure coming from the young man in front of him. It was 3 times stronger than Jiang Hong's qi. Another core disciple. Jiang Jian felt bitter in his heart. There were 10 core disciples in the Jiang clan. Each of them was powerful and far stronger than the others. Although Jiang Hong was strong, he was only ranked 9th among the core disciples. And this young man in front of him was ranked even higher. Take my strongest attack, Silver Dragon emerging from the sea. Jiang Jian raised both of his hands and struck out with his strongest attack. The starlight in the sky intertwined and formed a silver flood dragon. This attack caused a commotion among the disciples below the arena. Jiang Li looked at the sky and smiled faintly. He waved the green bamboo cane in his hand, creating countless bamboo shadows. Ripples appeared on the surface of the green light, forming a strong impact force. With one strike, the green bamboo shadows that filled the sky hit the silver Jiao dragon, instantly dispersing it. Jiang Jian's face turned pale when he saw his strongest attack being scattered. He couldn't help but take a few steps back. The gap between them was too big. He was no match for Jiang Li. Your swordsmanship is not bad, but your cultivation is too low. Wait until you reach the late harmonious spirit realm. Jiang Li said indifferently. From the beginning to the end he was very calm. Obviously he didn't care about this match at all. Jiang Jian laughed bitterly. For some reason, a figure appeared in his mind. It was a handsome young man in a black robe. He held a broken sword in his hand and his aura was very sharp. If it's him, can he defeat Jiang Li? Jiang Jian guessed. He shook his head and walked down the arena with a disappointed face. As expected of one of the 10 core disciples of the Greenwater Lake, he defeated that man in one move. It seems like Jiang Li's cultivation has improved a lot. The fort master of the Eagle Fort said with a smile. Lier is not bad, but he's still a bit weaker than Xiaoxiong. Uncle Jiang, you flatter me. The young man in a black robe beside the fort master said. Although he spoke modestly, his eyes were full of pride. Uncle Jiang, why didn't Yuding come? Xiaoxiong asked. That girl likes to run around. I don't know where she is now. Although she likes to play, she knows what's important. I think she'll be here soon. She's not young anymore. It's time for her to find a husband. The fort master said with a smile. Xiaoxiong has always liked Tingher. It'll be great if they can be together. Hearing this, Xiaoxiong's face showed a trace of excitement. The surrounding elders also had different expressions. It seemed like the Eagle Fort wanted to form a marriage alliance. However, Jiang Tianyu just smiled faintly, I don't mind, but I need Ting Er's approval. Alright, Ting Er is still young. I don't want her to get married so early. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's watch the match. Jiang Tianyu changed the topic. Chapter 391. There were a lot of young talents in this family meeting. Other than Jiang Jian, Jiang Yihe's performance was also outstanding. He was the most eye-catching disciple outside of the top 10 core disciples. I heard that there is a genius swordsman in Cold Wind City. Why didn't I see him in the competition? An elder was puzzled. I think Jiang Hong's condition isn't very good. His attacks are fiercer than before. What is this kid doing? Many elders were puzzled. I heard that before the family meeting, a strange teenager made a mess in the Jiang mansion. He even injured a few disciples and elders. Doesn't the patriarch know about it? The red-haired man sneered. This was a big loss of face. Hearing this, Jiang Tianyu frowned. Is there such a thing? Soon someone came to report. Yes, there is such a thing. That teenager was brought here by the Green Mountain City branch. However, he had a conflict with the people of Cold Wind City. That teenager used a sword to injure a genius swordsman disciple and an elder of Cold Wind City. To be able to defeat a genius swordsman and an elder, could it be another young expert? But when did Blackfeather City have such a genius? Everyone was puzzled. What is his cultivation? Jiang Tianyu asked. That teenager's cultivation is only at the early harmonious spirit realm, but his swordsmanship is extraordinary. What? Early harmonious spirit realm. Everyone was shocked. To be able to challenge someone who was 2 small realms higher than him and win, this news was too shocking. Where is he now? Jiang Tianyu asked in a deep voice. Although he was also surprised by the teenager's combat strength, he couldn't ignore the fact that he had injured his disciples and elders in the Jiang mansion. That young man left, but at that time, young Master Jiang Hong tried to stop him, but in the end he failed. Jiang Hong tried to stop him? Jiang Tianyu was slightly surprised. The elders' faces also changed. They knew Jiang Hong's ability. Being able to enter the top 10 core disciples was enough to prove his strength. Even so, he still couldn't stop the mysterious teenager. This made them shocked. Even Jiang Hong couldn't stop him. Interesting. Ying Shaoxiong was slightly interested. Jiang Qinyo's face didn't look good. Such an important piece of information was not told to him by the Red Leaf family. This made the Jiang family lose face. We can't just let this matter go like this. After the clan assembly, you guys post a notice to arrest this young man. Patriarch. The disciple who came to report wanted to say something but hesitated. Is there anything else? Speak. Jiang Tianyu said in a deep voice. This time he didn't want to miss any more information. It said that the mysterious young man fought with the disciples of Cold Wind City because of medicinal pills. Medicinal pills? Everyone was puzzled. Jiang Tianyu continued to ask, what kind of pill? Tell me clearly. It said that the young man has a mysterious master who can concoct pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. It seems that the 2 genius disciples of Qingshan City took this pill, and their cultivation base increased by a small realm. What? A pill that can increase the cultivation of the harmonious spirit realm. Everyone exclaimed in shock. Continue. Jiang Tianyu said in a deep voice. After Cold Wind City and the other branches received the news, they requested that young man to refine them. Moreover, at that time, young Master Jiang Hong also asked that young man to refine pills. However, that young man did not agree, resulting in a conflict. Jiang Hong? All the elders frowned. They knew Jiang Hong's temper very well. His words must have been very strong, otherwise the result would not have been like this. Is the information true? Jiang Tianyu asked. It should be. The people of Qingshan City are very respectful to him. Bring the elders of Qingshan City here. Jiang Tianyu said. Soon, the 3rd elder and Jiang Sihai were brought in front of everyone. Have you ever asked anyone to concoct pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm? Jiang Tianyu asked. The 3rd elder and Jiang Sihai's body trembled. They knew that they couldn't hide it anymore, so they had to tell everything. Everyone was very surprised, their eyes were full of passion. Is it really concocted by that young man himself? Jiang Tianyu asked again. The 3rd elder and Jiang Sihai nodded to show that they were sure. Being able to concoct such a miraculous pill at such a young age, it seems that he must have a very powerful master. The Eagle Fort Lord guessed. Send someone to find that young man now. Pay attention to your attitude and be humble. You must invite him to our Jiang family. Jiang Tianyu ordered. At the same time, the Red Leaves family and the Eagle Fort Lord also quietly sent out orders. This young man who knew how to concoct miraculous pills, if they could teach him well, it would be very beneficial to their family. Moreover, the Jiang family had just offended this young man, so the Red Leaves family had a greater chance. The red-headed man sneered. Next, the disciples of Cold Wind City and Jianghu were called in for questioning. The more Jiang Tianyu listened, the angrier he became. What a bunch of useless people. Such an important person was actually driven away by you. His face showed a trace of anger. It seems that I have been too lax with your discipline. Originally, this young man was brought here by Qingshan City, and his attitude towards the Jiang family was not bad, but because of these arrogant and despotic disciples, he was forced to leave. The family meeting is over, all of you go and reflect on your mistakes. The disciples of Cold Wind City were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. Jiang Hong deeply lowered his head, and a trace of ruthlessness appeared in his eyes. All of you go. Jiang Tianyu waved his hand. The family meeting continued, but the people who were present didn't have the mood to watch the competition. Why hasn't Ting come yet? Go and ask someone to call her. Jiang Tianyu said. Immediately, a disciple respectfully replied and quickly left. No need, father, I'm back. An intimate voice called out. Hearing this voice, all the elders laughed. It must be that little girl Yuding. When Ying Xiaoxiong heard this voice, he was so excited that his whole body trembled. He excitedly turned his head to look. However, when he saw Jiang Yuding, his whole person became unwell. Not only him but even Jiang Tianyu and the others were stunned. Because beside Jiang Yuding stood an unfamiliar young man, and the two of them seemed to be very close. Everyone was puzzled. When did Yuding make such a friend? Ying Xiaoxiong's face immediately became gloomy. Everyone knew that he liked Jiang Yuding. Although Yuding didn't like him, she didn't walk too close to other young men. But today she actually walked so close to an unfamiliar young man. Ying Xiaoxiong couldn't stand it. Who are you? How dare you stay by Yuding's side? Quickly get lost. Ying Xiaoxiong coldly shouted. Who stays by my side? What does it have to do with you? Jiang Yuding rolled her eyes at him, then turned her head and gently said, Young Master Lin, ignore him. Chapter 392. The Eagle Fort's fort master's face also darkened. He coldly shouted, Xiaoxiong, sit down. Pay attention to your status. Alright, don't blame Xiaoxiong. Jiang Tianyu waved his hand and then turned to ask, Ting, who is this young master? As the clan leader, Jiang Tianyu's attitude was still considered gentle. Father, he's Lin Xian. He's my benefactor. Benefactor? Everyone was puzzled. An elder quickly said, Yuding, could it be that you've been tricked? Jiang Yuding shook her head. He's indeed my benefactor. He saved an was naturally the multicolored peacock. That was Jiang Yuding's treasure. And is injured. What happened? Tell me in detail. Jiang Tianyu walked in again. Too many things had happened in this clan assembly, and each of them was unusual. Father, you should have heard the explosion in the south of the city, right? Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The explosion from before had indeed stunned them. However, they had investigated and found no clues. You were there at that time. Jiang Tianyu's expression changed. Hearing this, everyone looked at Jiang Yuding. Jiang Yuding stuck out her tongue and said, At that time, and was very anxious about that place, so I could only go and take a look. Child, why do you always ask so many questions? What if something happened to you? How am I going to explain it to your mother? Jiang Tianyu was anxious. Father, aren't I fine? Jiang Yuding continued. There was a red-robed freak in that courtyard. She was the one who led us there. There was also a three-headed bird that wanted to eat An and the other demonic beasts. After that, An was injured in the battle. It was this young Master Lin who saved him. Yuding quickly recounted the entire story. Many thanks to young hero Lin for saving An. This old man thanks you. Jiang Tianyu said. Senior is too polite. Lin Xian smiled. Seeing the change in the Jiang clan's attitude towards Lin Xian, Ying Xiaoxiong's heart burned with anger. He wanted to go up and slap him to death. Fortunately, Eagle Fort's fort master Ying Taizhan stopped him with his gaze. But Ying Xiaoxiong's sinister eyes showed that he would not let this matter rest. Good boy, you dare to fight with me over Yuding. No matter who you are, you're dead. Ying Xiaoxiong roared in his heart. Lin Xian used his great dragon sword to extinguish the purple flames in the multicolored peacock's body, and then used a pill to heal its body. After the multicolored peacock was out of danger, he followed Jiang Yuding to this place. Moreover, he already knew that Jiang Yuding was actually the daughter of the Jiang clan leader, Jiang Tianyu. Her status was even higher than he had imagined, which would be very beneficial for him to find Jiang Sanfeng. Young hero Lin, where did you learn from? Your skills are so superb. This old man is truly impressed. The Eagle Fortress's fort master asked. Naturally, he wanted to find out more about Lin Xian. I'm just a country bumpkin. There's no need to talk about it. Lin Xian shook his head with a smile. A mountain villager? I think you're just a country bumpkin. You cured the multicolored peacock with just luck. Do you think you can win Yuding's heart? Ing Xiaoxiong snorted coldly. There were also some elders in the Jiang clan who looked at Lin Xian with gloomy expressions. They originally supported Ing Xiaoxiong, and Lin Xian's appearance made them very uncomfortable. Young hero Lin has helped us. Why don't we let him go to the treasury to get some spiritual stones? Our Jiang clan is one of the major forces in Blackfeather City, and we can't neglect him, a thin elder said. His name was Jiang Da, and he was very supportive of the marriage between the Jiang clan and the Eagle Fortress. Therefore he was hostile to anyone who approached Jiang Yuding. Father, I invited him to watch the clan's competition. What should I do if you do this? Jiang Yuding said coquettishly. All right. Young hero Lin, please take a seat. Jiang Tianyu had no choice but to agree to his daughter's request. Sir, please don't. We invited all the famous clans here. He's just a kid from the countryside. How can he sit with these people? Jiang Da objected. Lin Xian frowned slightly. This old man had repeatedly jumped out to stop him, and he was very disgusted. I'm afraid it has something to do with the Eagle Fortress. Lin Xian's soul was very strong. He could sense the expressions of these people, and he knew what the Eagle Fortress and the elders were thinking. Since someone doesn't welcome me, I think we should forget about it. Yuding, I'll take my leave first. Lin Xian smiled and shrugged. Yuding is not for you to call her that. Ing Xiaoxiong's eyes were burning with anger. He wanted to kill Lin Xian. Men, give young hero Lin 3,000 mid-grade spiritual stones. Elder Jiang Da shouted. No need. Lin Xian refused coldly. I thought the Jiang clan was a famous clan, but it seems that they are so narrow-minded. What a joke. What did you say? Jiang Da was anxious. Kid, don't think that you can be so presumptuous here just because you saved the five-colored peacock. Suddenly, a huge pressure pressed down on Lin Xian. Is this how the Jiang clan treats their guests? Lin Xian smiled. He was not afraid of the huge pressure at all. Father. Jiang Yuding shouted anxiously. Enough, everyone stop. Jiang Tianyu shouted coldly, and everyone was stunned. I know what you guys are thinking, but young hero Lin saved Anan. What's wrong with sitting down and watching the competition? Everyone was silent. Jiang Da said sinisterly, since the sir has spoken, then young hero Lin should sit down. He then pointed to the seat at the end. It was very remote and could not even be called a seat. Lin Xian's face darkened. This old man was obviously making things difficult for him, and he wanted him to back off. I didn't come here to be bullied. You want me to sit in that place? Lin Xian was so angry that he laughed. Kid, who do you think you are? Letting you sit there is already giving you face. Ing Xiaoxiong snorted. Is there no one else in the Jiang clan? Letting an outsider shout here? Lin Xian sneered. The elders' hearts tightened. They supported the Eagle Fortress, so they did not feel that Ing Xiaoxiong's actions were inappropriate. However, in the eyes of outsiders, it was extremely inappropriate. This was the Jiang residence, and it was the Jiang clan's clan assembly. It was indeed inappropriate for Ing Xiaoxiong to shout repeatedly. There is indeed no one in the Jiang clan. The red-haired man sneered. Xiaoxiong, shut up. Ing Taizhan shouted coldly. Kid, you are courting death. Let's see if you can still be so arrogant after you leave the Jiang clan. Ing Xiaoxiong threatened. Jiang Da also changed the topic. If you don't want to sit there, where do you want to sit? We're all big shots here and we're all famous people. Do you think there is a place for you here? Letting you sit there is already very polite. I will not sit there. If I want to sit, I will sit here. With that, Lin Xian pointed at Jiang Da's seat. Chapter 393. Jiang Tianyu also frowned slightly, but he still said in a deep voice, Young hero Lin, why don't you go down to the guest seats? The Jiang clan disciples are all there. Maybe you can make some friends. Young Master Lin, it's boring to sit here. Why don't we go down and play? Jiang Yuding pulled Lin Xian's sleeve and said. This scene made Ing Xiaoxiong's eyes even gloomier. Alright then, let's go down and sit. Lin Xian smiled. Then he turned to the elder and said, "For the sake of clan leader Yuding, I'll go down to the guest seats. However, I think you'll invite me up very soon. I hope you can still be so insistent." After saying that, Lin Xian turned and walked down to the young disciples' seats. Looking at Lin Xian's back, many elders showed disdain. Elder Jianghu sneered, "You want to come back? You're dreaming. Man. Go and find out who he is and what his motive is for approaching Mississippi." Immediately, 2 disciples left quickly. When Lin Xian was on the guest seats, he had already attracted the attention of the crowd. However, his back was facing the crowd, so they didn't recognize him at all. When he walked to the disciples' seats, many people exclaimed softly. Among them, the most surprised were the branch disciples from Green Mountain City and Cold Wind City. They looked at Lin Xian as if they had seen a ghost. Their expressions were full of shock. It had only been a day and Lin Xian was back. Moreover, he seemed to have hooked up with Miss Jiang. When Jiang Hong saw this scene, he stood up in shock. His body trembled slightly and he didn't know what to say. "Good boy, you still dare to come back." Jiang Hong's tone was cold. "Why, you know each other." Jiang Yuding was confused. "Yuding, why are you with him?" Jiang Hong's voice was filled with confusion. The other disciples also came and went. Among them, a few core disciples saw this scene and frowned. "Get lost, a good dog doesn't block the way," Lin Xian said to Jiang Hong, who was blocking the center. The surrounding disciples were in an uproar. Jiang Hong was one of the core disciples, and his strength was frightening. Now, there was actually someone who dared to reprimand him in public. This caused many people to have a surreal feeling. Those core disciples also looked over. Jiang Hong's bad temper was well known among them. Now that he was being ridiculed like this, he would definitely explode on the spot. Who is this brat? How dare he speak like that? Isn't he afraid that Jiang Hong will kill him with a single palm strike? I don't know, but given how arrogant he is, even if he were to be beaten to death, it wouldn't matter, right? Those disciples were all in the mood of watching a show. "Brat, you're courting death." Jiang Hong's face flushed red when he heard this. A layer of purple ripples appeared on his body, spinning rapidly. Every time it spun, a terrifying aura would leak out. "You dare to make a move?" Lin Xian looked at him with a smile that was not a smile. There was no fear on his face. The exchange earlier made him understand Jiang Hong's strength like the back of his hand. Although Jiang Hong was very powerful in the eyes of others, it was not difficult for him to deal with him. Looking at that smiling face, Jiang Hong's body trembled, but he did not act immediately. Firstly, he had exchanged blows with Lin Xian before and did not gain any advantage. Moreover, Lin Xian could refine miraculous pills. His identity was very special. If it was exposed, the entire Jiang family would definitely treat him like an honored guest. If he made a move at this time, the family would definitely punish him. Thinking of the patriarch's furious look, Jiang Hong unconsciously shuddered. "I'm warning you, you'd better stay away from Yuding." Jiang Hong's tone was cold. However, he did not make a move in the end. With a cold snort, Jiang Hong sat down angrily and no longer looked at Lin Xian. Everyone was stunned and then rubbed their eyes hard. This result was something they never expected. "No way, I didn't see wrongly. That brat Jiang Hong actually didn't make a move?" A short-haired core disciple opened his mouth wide. Beside him, several other core disciples were also frowning. This matter is too illogical. There must be a demon behind this abnormality. Who is this brat? Not only can he walk together with Yuding, but he can also suppress Jiang Hong. Just as everyone was shocked on the rostrum, the 2 disciples who investigated Lin Xian also returned with panicked expressions. Elder, it's not good." The 2 of them cried out. "What's the matter? Why are you so flustered? Does that brat really have a background?" Jianghu frowned. Everyone also turned their heads to look. They were also very curious about Lin Xian's identity. "That brat is the alchemist who injured the Cold Wind City's disciples." What? Everyone was stunned. Jiang Tianyu furrowed his brows. He never would have thought that the person who was with his daughter was the mysterious alchemist she was looking for. The Eagle Fort's fort master Yin Taizhan had a gloomy face. He originally wanted to secretly find that alchemist and establish a good relationship with him. Now it seemed that it was impossible. "Father, what should we do?" "I didn't know that brat was an alchemist," Ying Shaoxiong said in exasperation. "Forget it, it's too late to regret now." The Eagle Fort's fort master said in a deep voice, "Now we can only try our best to rope him in." Jiang Da's face was gloomy and uncertain. Thinking back to what Lin Xian said before he left, his face became very ugly. If Lin Xian didn't have any status, then what he said would be a joke. But now Lin Xian's identity turned out to be an alchemist that everyone wanted to rope in. Now everyone would definitely welcome him with a smile. Thinking that he would give up his seat to a brat, Jianghu had the urge to kill himself by banging his head on tofu. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and invite young hero Lin back. Jiang Tianyu shouted coldly. Immediately, the two deacons moved quickly and rushed to the guest seats. In the guest seats, those people were still looking at Lin Xian in shock. At this time, two middle-aged deacons walked over from afar with a trace of nervousness between their brows. It seemed that they were going for Lin Xian. This brat didn't do anything wrong, did he? Even the deacons were alerted. The few core disciples were puzzled again. Jiang Hong's eyes flashed. He knew that the elders in the family must have known about Lin Xian's identity and were here to invite him. The two deacons came in front of Lin Xian and were very polite. Young Master Lin, the patriarch invites you to the guest seat. What? Everyone was stunned as if there was something wrong with their ears. The guest seat was a place where only the elders of the family and the big shots of Blackfeather City could sit. An unknown brat was going to such a place, and was personally invited by the patriarch. Who is this brat? These people were not fools. To be able to sit at the guest seat, he must be of high status. No wonder Jiang Hong didn't dare to do anything. He already knew. Everyone suddenly realized. It can't be. Father is really inviting you? Jiang Yuding also had a look of surprise on her face. She stared at Lin Xian with her large gem-like eyes. Chapter 394. Young Master Lin, why didn't you say you were an alchemist earlier? It's not good to have such a big misunderstanding now. A few elders welcomed him with smiles. They were all under Jiang Tianyu's orders to give Lin Xian face. Young hero Lin is a young genius. To be able to refine the legendary three-striped hollow spirit forest pill, I'm really impressed. We were reckless earlier. Lin Xian smiled and walked in front of Elder Jiang Da. I said I'll be back. I wonder if you can give up your seat this time? Elder Jiang Da's face was red. He originally mocked Lin Xian for having no background and being a village bumpkin. But now Lin Xian was invited back by the clan leader. Moreover, he stood in front of him and asked him to give up his seat. Jiang Da felt stifled in his heart. He wished he could slap Lin Xian with his palm. However, Jiang Tianyu's eyes were fixed on him. His meaning was obvious. He wanted him to give up his seat. Elder Jiang Da gritted his teeth so hard that they almost broke. But he had no choice. For the clan's benefit, he had to sacrifice his dignity. I'll bear with it today. I'll get my revenge one day. Elder Jiang Da roared in his heart. He gritted his teeth and said hatefully, Young Master Lin, forget it, I'm not a vengeful person. I won't argue with you. I won't take this seat. Before Elder Jiang Da could say anything, Lin Xian said quickly. Hurry up and thank young hero Lin. Elder Jiang Tianyu snorted. Thank you young hero Lin. Elder Jiang Da gritted his teeth. Hearing that, Lin Xian turned and left. He found two empty seats and sat down with Elder Jiang Yuding. The surrounding people's mouths twitched. Elder Jiang Da's face turned black. He felt suffocated and almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This kid definitely did it on purpose. Elder Jiang Da roared in his heart. Initially he struggled internally and finally gave in to the pressure. He wanted to bow his head and admit defeat. But at this time Lin Xian took the initiative and said that he forgave him. That magnanimous look made him look like a villain. Forgive your sister. Elder Jiang Da almost went berserk. But she had already left. Who could he throw a tantrum at? He could only sit down angrily. The hard stone chair creaked as he sat down. After Lin Xian sat down, he began to watch the match on the stage with great interest. At this moment, the two contestants were core disciples. That terrifying aura pervaded the entire arena. Every move they made actually carried a kind of special concept. Lin Xian was slightly surprised. The techniques of the two people fighting on the stage were incomparably profound. One of them waved his palms, which were covered with glazed patterns. The wind from his palms carried a trace of strange heat. Although it couldn't compare to the purple eternal flames of the three-headed vermilion blood bird, it was still much stronger than ordinary flames. This is a concept, the concept of fire. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed as he carefully felt this mysterious power. The other person wasn't bad either. He held an emerald green bamboo cane in his hand and waved it out, filling the sky with bamboo shadows, blocking all of the strange and scorching flames outside. This is the wind shadow concept. Lin Xian was surprised again. as expected of a top family to have such powerful disciples. Lin Xian carefully comprehended, not missing a single detail. Moreover, he even used his eye technique to firmly remember the moves that contained the concept of wind in his mind. Not only was Lin Xian surprised, but the others were also moved. Even the arrogant Ying Shaoxiong withdrew his disdain. These two people's concepts are not bad. How rare, how rare. Eagle Fortress Lord Ying Taizhan said. Jiang Jie and Jiang Li are indeed not bad. I plan to send them to the main family this time to compete for a spot. Yeah, counting the days, it's about to start again. I'm afraid the entire Dragon Star Nation will be lively. Ying Taizhan sighed. Although they are not bad, there is still a gap between them and true geniuses. At least in terms of cultivation, they are far behind. If they can increase their cultivation by another level, there might be some hope. Don't you still have Ting'er? Her bloodline power is stronger than the average intent. Perhaps she can get a spot this time, said Eagle Castle's castle master Ying Taizhan. Indeed, Ting'er's bloodline power is very strong. That's why I plan to send her to the main family this time. Even if she can't get a spot with her talent, she will still be heavily nurtured by the main family. But the situation is different now. After saying that, Jiang Tianyu had a chance to go up against Lin Xian. Perhaps this is a chance given to me by the heavens. Lin Xian could concoct pills that could increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. This was a life-saving straw for Jiang Tianyu. If the three most talented people in the Jiang mansion were to consume this pill, their strength would definitely increase greatly. At that time, their chances of winning the competition would be greatly increased. Lin Xian naturally didn't know about Jiang Tianyu's little plan. At this moment he was completely immersed in that mysterious realm. Not long after, his body emitted a green light. A faintly discernible wind force rushed out from his body and rapidly grew bigger. In the end, an ancient green qi flow surrounded his body with an indescribable aura. Young Master Lin Yu. Jiang Yuding was surprised again. This scene naturally alarmed the others. When they saw the qi flow around Lin Xian's body and his demeanor, Jiang Tianyu, Ying Taizhan, and a few other big shots cried out in surprise. Enlightenment. It's actually enlightenment. Where did this young man come from? Jiang Tianyu was shocked. This kind of realm was something that all warriors could only hope for. Damn it, what kind of luck does this guy have to be able to achieve enlightenment? Ying Shaoxiong looked at Lin Xian with jealousy in his heart. Jiang family's disciples, listen up. No one is allowed to disturb Lin Xian. Jiang Tianyu ordered. Immediately, several martial artists with powerful auras stood around Lin Xian, protecting him well. The disciples and elders from afar looked over with their eyes almost popping out of their sockets. This Lin Xian was too monstrous. Even the elites of the Jiang family were protecting him. After a long time, Lin Xian's eyes glowed with a green light. The green qi flow around him formed a gust of wind and then quickly dissipated. Lin Xian was ecstatic. He had finally comprehended the concept of wind. When he turned around and saw so many warriors protecting him, he couldn't help but look at Jiang Tianyu with kindness. Thank you, Patriarch Jiang. Lin Xian bowed slightly. I have some enlightenment. Can I use the cultivation room? Lin Xian asked. Of course. Bring young Master Lin there. Jiang Yuding nodded and left with Lin Xian. In the spacious cultivation room, Lin Xian used his fingers as a sword and quickly sent out several sword qi. Every sword seemed familiar, but they were all different. Some were like a gentle breeze, some were as swift as a gale, and some were as cold as a gale. Moreover, the speed of his sword was 3 times faster than usual. If he wanted to, he could make those sword lights disappear. Moreover, after comprehending the concept of wind, the power of his Wind Emperor sword had increased by 3 times. Even his great dragon sword intent had become more skillful than before. Now, even if he couldn't defeat a spirit transformation realm warrior, he wouldn't be in such a sorry state like before. Chapter 395. His Autumn Scar sword was completely broken, but it was still in good condition. The grade of the sword did not seem to be able to keep up with his cultivation. It would be best if he could find a spirit-grade sword. Lin Xian believed that the Dragonstar Kingdom was rich in resources and would definitely have a good sword. Whatever, I should look for someone called Jiang Shanfeng in the Jiang family. Lin Xian walked out of the training room. He had been in the training room for 3 days, and the Jiang family's family meeting had already ended. The branch disciples and the other forces of Black Feather City had already left. Lin Xian was ready to find Jiang Tianyu and talk about the conditions. He knew that Jiang Tianyu wanted the 3-mark Spirit Void pill, and he wanted to know where Jiang Sanfeng was. As soon as Lin Xian came out, he was asked to leave by a servant. In the living room, Jiang Tianyu looked at Lin Xian with a fiery gaze, like a hungry wolf that had seen a beautiful woman. Lin Xian felt a chill down his spine and could not help but laugh. Leader Jiang, I understand what you mean. I can make 3 spirit void pills for the Jiang family, but I would like to ask for a favor from you. What is it? Just tell me. As long as I can do it, I will definitely help you. Jiang Tianyu did not expect Lin Xian to answer so straightforwardly, so he did not reject Lin Xian's request. I see. Is there anyone called Jiang Sanfeng in the Jiang family? Also, this person is over 50 years old and has been to the Sky Mountain Kingdom. Jiang Tianyu was slightly confused. He said in a deep voice, there is indeed someone called Jiang Sanfeng, but no one has been to the Sky Mountain Kingdom. I'm sure of that. No one has been there? Lin Xian frowned. So the Jiang Sanfeng he was looking for was not in the Jiang family? Then where was this person? Was he in the main Jiang family? Or was he not even a member of the Jiang family? Was it possible that he was no longer there? At that moment, Lin Xian thought of all sorts of possibilities. Don't worry, young hero Lin. Although the person you're looking for isn't in our Greenwater Lake Jiang mansion, Lin Feng said. However, as long as you help me refine the Spirit Void pill, I can help you get information from the other 2 clans and the Jiang family's main clan, Jiang Tianyu said. In order to obtain the 3-mark Spirit Void pill, Jiang Tianyu could be considered to have thrown caution to the wind. He patted his chest and guaranteed that he would definitely help Lin Xian find this person. All right. In the end, Lin Xian nodded in agreement. There's one more thing I'd like to ask Patriarch Jiang, Lin Xian said again. Young hero Lin, feel free to ask. I wonder if clan leader Jiang of the Azure Dragon Association knows about this? Oh. Jiang Tianyu raised his eyebrows and looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Of course I know. The Azure Dragon Association is the golden age of the younger generation of the Tianan region. Every time they hold a meeting, the younger generation of the Longxing country will be busy fighting. I wonder if there are any other ways to participate in the Azure Dragon Society other than the fixed quota that each major faction has. Lin Xian asked this just in case. If he couldn't find Jiang Sanfeng and there were other ways to participate, he also hoped to give it a try. The Azure Dragon Association has very strict requirements for the participants. Even the Longxing country only has a dozen or so quotas. However, there are no absolutes. The Azure Dragon Association does give some independent cultivators a chance, and that is the dragon platform. In some powerful countries, there are a few dragon platforms for thousands of independent cultivators to fight for. The final winner can also participate in the Azure Dragon Association. However, this chance is even slimmer. The entire Longxing country only has 2 dragon platforms with a population of hundreds of millions. I see. There really are other ways. Lin Xian's heart calmed down a little. If there was really no other way, he could try the so-called dragon platform when the time came. Next, Lin Xian asked about the dragon platform in detail. Jiang Tianyu also told Lin Xian everything he knew. In his opinion, this information didn't have any special value because it was too difficult to climb the dragon platform. Although Lin Xian was exceptionally talented and was also an alchemy inscription master, it was almost impossible for him to climb the dragon platform. In the following days, Lin Xian stayed in the Jiang Manor. When the materials for refining pills were collected, he could start refining. Lin Xian agreed to the condition of refining 3 pills. For a big family like the Jiang clan of the Greenwater Lake, these materials were quickly found. Lin Xian also quickly refined 3 void spirit pills. This time he didn't keep it for himself because this kind of pill could only be taken once. Taking it multiple times would have no effect. Jiang Tianyu also quickly gave an answer. There were a total of 3 people named Jiang Sanfeng who had been to the Heavenly Mountain country. One of them was a disciple of a branch family, but he was quickly ruled out by Lin Xian. Because this person was only in his 30s, his age didn't meet his requirements. The other 2 people met all his requirements. However, one of them was an elder of the Jiang clan with a very high status, and it wasn't easy to meet him. The other person was said to have left the Jiang manor many years ago. His goal was very small and he finally locked onto the Jiang clan. Lin Xian was quite satisfied with this. He gave Jiang Tianyu 3 pills and prepared to leave. Jiang Tianyu thanked him again and welcomed Lin Xian to come back as a guest elder at any time. He also didn't force Lin Xian to stay, saying that he also wanted to let the disciples of the clan prepare to compete for the Azure Dragon Association's quota. After leaving the Jiang Manor, Lin Xian prepared to cultivate while heading to the Jiang clan's headquarters. Just as he left the Jiang manor, he was stopped by someone. "Brother Lin, wait." Lin Xian turned around and found that it was Yi Qianxing who had fought with him that day. "Brother Lin, you finally came out. I've been waiting for a long time," Yi Qianxing said. "Brother Yi, why are you looking for me?" "It's like this. I have something I want to ask Brother Lin for help with," Yi Qianxing said. "What is it?" Lin Xian had a good impression of Yi Qianxing. "Brother Lin, let's find a quiet place to talk." Yi Qianxing glanced at the Jiang manor with a trace of vigilance in his eyes. "All right." Lin Xian nodded, and the two of them walked into the distance. "Brother Lin, to be honest, I came here to ask your pet, that snow-white little monkey, to help." Yi Qianxing expressed his intentions. "Let the snow-white little monkey do it?" Lin Xian was slightly surprised. "What's the matter?" He didn't immediately agree. Firstly, it was because he didn't know the details, and secondly, the snow-white little monkey had fallen into a deep sleep after swallowing the longevity fruit. He didn't know when he would wake up. "It's like this. We want to go and get something, but we're not fast enough. And that little monkey is the fastest one I've ever seen. Even I can't sense it, so I want to ask it to give it a try. It needs speed." Lin Xian frowned. "Is it dangerous?" "There is danger, but if it can be done, I will definitely thank Brother Lin." Lin Xian frowned. To be honest, he didn't want the snow-white little monkey to take the risk. Little White swallowed some strange fruits and is now in a deep sleep. And I don't know when it will wake up. Lin Xian tactfully refused. Chapter 396. Yi Qianxing had also seen Lin Xian's gale lightning blade and the broken dagger in his hand. That was why he said that. A half-spiritual sword? Lin Xian was a little tempted. A half-spiritual weapon was indeed extraordinary. At least for him now, if he had such a weapon, his strength would increase by a lot. "I'll see. If it's really dangerous, I'll reject it then," Lin Xian thought to himself. "Okay." He nodded. "But I can't guarantee that Whitey will wake up when the time comes." "No problem. If she really can't wake up, it means that we're not fated to get that thing." Yi Qianxing smiled. After that, he led Lin Xian to the outskirts of the city. East of Blackfeather City. In front of a quiet villa, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked at the dark walls. He felt a chill. Looking up, he saw a plaque above the door with 4 words written on it. Mansion of Spirits. "Brother Yi, you're not taking me to hell, are you?" Lin Xian said half-jokingly. "Why would I? Although this place is a little strange, I can guarantee Brother Lin's safety with my life," Yi Qianxing said. Lin Xian was a bold person, and he also had the guidance of a mysterious expert like Wine Lord, so he was not too afraid of the Mansion of Spirits. He smiled and quickly walked in. Seeing Lin Xian's calm expression, Yi Qianxing was secretly surprised. This place was famous for its horror in Blackfeather City. Even those who did not know would be too scared to go in just by feeling the aura. Lin Xian, on the other hand, didn't seem to be afraid at all as he walked in directly. After entering the Mansion of Spirits, Lin Xian glanced around. He felt that the Yin aura in the villa was even more intense. Fortunately, he had the sword will of the great dragon, which could destroy everything. He was not afraid of this. This place is not simple. "Be careful, I feel some special aura," Wine Lord said. "A special aura?" Lin Xian was puzzled. This Mansion of Spirits doesn't seem to be anything special on the surface, but it's very unusual underneath. It seems like something is sealed here. "Is it very dangerous?" Lin Xian asked. "Danger, but danger often coexists with opportunity. It all depends on whether you can grasp it," Wine Lord said. "Since I'm here, let's take a look." Lin Xian had no intention of leaving immediately. Yi Qianxing led the way in front, and soon a building appeared in front of them. Those buildings were completely black and had some strange patterns on them. The building complex was empty all day long, as if there was no one there. Crack crack. One of the doors opened, and a gust of chilly wind blew out from inside. This scene was indeed frightening. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and used his eye technique to look inside. "Welcome to the Mansion of Spirits." A cold, mechanical voice sounded. Immediately after, a pitch-black Iron Man walked out. His body was a little stiff, and there was the sound of metal rubbing against each other as he walked. "What's this?" Lin Xian was puzzled. He sensed that there was no flesh and blood inside the iron block, and it was all cold metal parts. "Oh, this is the puppet work of Master Ghost. You can call him Black Iron Man," Yi Qianxing explained. "Black Iron Man, Master Ghost?" Lin Xian was even more puzzled. The owner of this mansion is called Master Ghost. He's a master blacksmith. He likes to make some metal puppets to be his assistants and servants. I see. No wonder there's no one in the mansion. Lin Xian understood. Go and report to Master Ghost that we're here, Yi Qianxing said to the Black Iron Man. Soon the Black Iron Man left as if he was flying. Lin Xian was quite interested in the Black Iron Man. They didn't have a physical body, but they could walk like humans. Moreover, they could understand simple instructions. It was really amazing. What's so special about that? It's just the simplest puppet technique. The core technology is still the inscription array, Wine Lord said disdainfully. Soon an old man with dry hair floated over. He was like a ghost without making a sound. Moreover, his whole body was skinny. His dry skin stuck to his bones, making him look like a skeleton. Fortunately, Lin Xian was brave enough to not scream. Yi Qianxing, who was beside him, was used to it. He said respectfully, "Greetings, Elder Ghost." Little Yi, why did you bring such a young kid here?" Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian with a hint of dissatisfaction in his tone. "Elder Ghost, this young hero Lin's spirit beast is extremely fast. Perhaps it can help us," Yi Qianxing said. "He's the kid you were talking about?" Master Ghost turned to look at Lin Xian. The light in his eyes was like a will-the-wisp flickering non-stop. "Summon your spirit beast and let me see." Master Ghost's voice was dignified and unquestionable. "Little White is in a deep sleep. It's not the time yet." Lin Xian shook his head and refused. "Elder Ghost, young Master Lin's spirit beast might be evolving. Why don't we wait for a while?" Yi Qianxing knew Master Ghost's temper, so he took the initiative to explain. "All right, Little Yi, I'll trust you this time. If this kid can't take out anything when the time comes, don't blame me for breaking his neck." Master Ghost snorted coldly and floated away like a ghost again. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. Master Ghost was mysterious in the eyes of others, but in his eyes, there were no secrets. That was because the Wine Lord in his body had already seen through everything. He's actually a martial artist who cultivates a ghost-type cultivation method. That's rare. Wine Lord's tone had a hint of surprise. "Kid, if he dares to make a move, just blast him with lightning," Wine Lord said. "Young hero Lin, why don't you stay here for a few days?" "All right." Lin Xian nodded. He was curious about this place and was prepared to explore it. Hence Lin Xian stayed. 3 days later the little white monkey woke up. Although it didn't look much different from before, Lin Xian seemed to be able to feel that the little white monkey was different from before. Moreover, its speed was even faster. Even he couldn't accurately sense it. The little white monkey intimately rubbed Lin Xian's face, then pointed to the ground looking very happy. "There's treasure underground?" Lin Xian was used to this. The little white monkey nodded, scratching its ears and cheeks, looking very anxious. "Don't worry, you'll have your time to shine." Lin Xian scolded with a smile. In the end, he went to find Yi Qianxing and told him that the little white monkey had woken up. Moreover, he also agreed to help get the treasure. Yi Qianxing was very happy and immediately contacted Master Ghost. However, Master Ghost said to wait because a mysterious big shot was coming. Lin Xian didn't care about this. Anyway, 1 or 2 more days didn't matter to him. Moreover, he could take this opportunity to further strengthen his wind concept. Chapter 397. Lin Xian's identity was extraordinary, and the void spirit pills he refined had indeed allowed the 3 geniuses of the Jianghu family to increase their cultivation by a small realm. This directly stimulated the people of the other factions. Many people anxiously looked for Lin Xian, ready to beg him to refine the void spirit pills. However, they received news that Lin Xian had entered the Spirit Mountain Villa. Everyone was a little hesitant. The ghost master of the Spirit Mountain Villa was famous in Heiyu City for being vicious. Moreover, the Spirit Mountain Villa was very strange, so they were not willing to go there without a special reason. The majestic castle was painted with eagles. This was the territory of the Eagle Fortress. "Father, that brat has entered the Spirit Mountain Villa. I think he's most likely dead. He definitely won't be able to come out. Serves him right for trying to snatch Yuding from me," Ing Xiaoxiong sneered. Although the pills were attractive to him, nothing was more important than Yuding. "Actually, I hope he can come out alive. Yuding has taken the pills and her cultivation has improved. Moreover, if she enters the Jiang family in the future, the gap between you two will become bigger and bigger. At that time, even if no one interferes, you might not be able to get her," Ing Taizhan said in a deep voice. Now, I just hope that Brat can come out safely so that he can refine a few void spirit pills. On the other side in the Jiang family, Jiang Tianyu and the others also received news that Lin Xian had gone to the Spirit Mountain Villa. Jiang Yuding was very anxious after hearing this. Father, Lin Xian must be in danger. Why don't we go and save him? Don't make trouble. The Spirit Mountain Villa is not a place we can casually enter. Jiang Tianyu said in a deep voice. But he has helped our family a lot. We can't just watch him fall into danger. Although the Spirit Mountain Villa is strange, Zhuangzhu is not a spirit detecting realm expert. Why should we be afraid of him? Ting, you know everything. The Ghost Master of the Spirit Mountain Villa has many strange moves and is impossible to guard against. Moreover, it is said that the Spirit Mountain Villa is a place of great danger. Something incredible is sealed there. It is not a place we can set foot in. In addition, his identity is very sensitive. It is said that he is inextricably linked to a large sect. Jiang Tianyu's frown deepened at the mention of the Great Banner sect. Jiang Yuding also frowned and stomped her feet anxiously. The Daki sect was one of the top 6 forces in the Longxing nation. Their strength was even above the Jiang clan's main clan. The Greenwater Lake Jiang Mansion was only one of the Jiang family's subsects. Compared to the Great Banner sect, it was far inferior. Why would this fellow go to the Great Flag sect? Jiang Yuding was puzzled. Forget it. After all, we owe Lin Xian a debt of gratitude. I'll make a trip there. After he finished speaking, Jiang Tianyu's figure flashed and disappeared from the hall. The Spectre Mountain Villa was filled with fog and it was extremely cold. When he knew that Lin Xian was willing to help, a smile appeared on Master Ghost's withered face. However, that look was even uglier than crying. Like a ghost, he floated to Lin Xian's room. Kid, let your spirit beast come out and let me have a look. Master Ghost's voice was hoarse, like a poisonous snake rubbing against the ground. The little white monkey jumped out and looked at Master Ghost curiously. Then it stuck out its tongue and made a funny face. What an uneducated, stinky monkey. Master Ghost's face darkened, and he suddenly stretched out his withered, steel-like claws. The air fluctuated slightly and an ear-piercing sound was heard. Master Ghost was as fast as a ghost. His steel-like black palm reached the little white monkey's head in an instant. The little white monkey showed disdain in its eyes. With a whoosh, it disappeared. Master Ghost's withered face finally showed some emotion after he missed his target. At that moment, the little white monkey jumped onto the table at the side. Master Ghost stared at the little white monkey with his deep-set eyes. His gaze was like a flickering ghost fire, which was extremely strange. He launched a few more strange attacks at the little white monkey, but the latter quickly dodged them all. At that moment, Master Ghost was extremely excited. His withered face trembled slightly. As an expert in the spirit transformation realm, his attack speed was extremely fast. Even so, he still could not touch the little white monkey at all. Even someone at the peak of the spirit transformation realm might not have such speed. Good. 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 Master Ghost shouted 3 times in a low voice. He looked at the little white monkey as if he saw some hope. Boy, I didn't expect you to have such a rare beast. Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian and his eyes softened a lot. I heard you're a swordsman? Master Ghost asked. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I'm indeed a swordsman. If we succeed this time, I'll give you a spiritual level treasure sword. A spiritual level treasure sword. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. The nobility of a spiritual level treasure was well known. The black cloak behind him was a treasure weapon. With it, Lin Xian had avoided many dangers. Are you serious? Lin Xian asked excitedly. When have I ever lied to anyone? Besides, a spiritual level treasure weapon is nothing special to me. Master Ghost snorted. Then I'll thank you, senior. Don't be happy yet. The place where we're going to get the treasure is very dangerous. It's not certain if we can take it out. We might even lose our lives. The little white monkey wasn't happy and gestured. It seemed to be saying that its ability was unique in the world, and it would be easy to get it. Xian also touched the little white monkey's head. I believe it. Master Ghost wanted to say something, but at this moment, a loud voice came into the Mansion of Spirits. Jiang Tianyu of the Jiang Mansion requests to see Master Ghost. This voice was very clear, and it spread to every corner of the Mansion of Spirits. Jiang Mansion? What is the Jiang family doing here at this time? Could it be that they also want the treasure? Master Ghost's face darkened. Lin Xian had a strange expression. He thought of a possibility. Could it be because of him? Sure enough, after a moment, Jiang Tianyu's loud voice sounded again. The young man Lin Xian who came in a few days ago is a guest of the Jiang mansion. If he offended the mansion of spirits in any way, I hope Master Ghost will forgive him for the sake of the Jiang family. As expected, Lin Xian smiled bitterly and touched his nose. Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Young man, it seems like there are quite a lot of people who care about you. Let's go. Follow me out. Outside the mansion of spirits, Jiang Tianyu stood with his hands behind his back and looked forward. To be honest, he didn't have much hope in this matter. However, for Lin Xian he decided to give it a try. In fact, such a big commotion had already attracted the attention of other forces. However, no one came out. They were all hiding in the dark to observe. It couldn't be helped. The mansion of spirits was very strange and it was supported by a powerful sect. It wasn't a place where anyone could behave atrociously. Boom. Ghost fog rolled in the mansion of spirits, forming a dark cloud that floated to the outside world. Above the dark cloud, there was a skinny figure that emitted a cold and powerful aura. Beside him was a delicate and pretty youth with a snow-white little monkey sitting on his shoulder. Lin Xian. Chapter 398. At this moment, everyone was puzzled. Wasn't Lin Xian captured? Why was he standing beside Master Ghost and not hurt at all? Even Jiang Tianyu was stunned. Thank you for your kindness, clan leader Jiang. I'm fine here. I'm very safe, Lin Xian said loudly. He was surprised that Jiang Tianyu came to help. He would remember this kindness in his heart. Young friend Lin is an honored guest of the Mansion of Spirits. I won't harm him. You can go back, Master Ghost said coldly. Everyone was stunned. Since when did Lin Xian become an honored guest of the Mansion of Spirits? However, Master Ghost didn't look like he was lying. There was no need for him to lie. What a mysterious young man. First, he was treated as an honored guest by the Jiang family. Now he was an honored guest of the Mansion of Spirits. I wonder what his true identity is? Seeing that Lin Xian was fine, Jiang Tianyu was relieved. He said a few words and then left the Mansion of Spirits. Those forces hidden in the dark also retreated one after another. However, these people were regretful. Now that Lin Xian was an honored guest of the Mansion of Spirits, it would be much more difficult to get him to refine pills in the future. Moreover, no one dared to make things difficult for him. After all, the Mansion of Spirits was not to be trifled with. Moreover, he had the Great Banner sect behind him. In the Mansion of Spirits, Yi Qinxing left after sending Lin Xian over. Only Master Ghost and Lin Xian were alive in the Mansion of Spirits. The rest were mechanical puppets. 10 days later, a powerful aura landed in the Mansion of Spirits. Lin Xian's body tensed up. He felt an indescribable pressure as if countless mountains were pressing down on him. At the same time, the blood in his body was boiling. His blood vessels were about to burst. So terrifying. What kind of aura is this? Lin Xian's face changed. He quickly circulated the art of longevity. At the same time, he activated the Great Dragon Sword essence to destroy the pressure. Fortunately, he had comprehended 70% of the Great Dragon Sword essence. With the help of the Wind essence, he was able to withstand the pressure. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian's face turned pale. He looked out of the window in horror. This is the aura of a spirit-detecting realm martial artist, Wine Lord transmitted. Spirit-detecting martial artist. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He had long heard of the miraculous and powerful spirit-detecting experts, but this was the first time he felt such a powerful aura. However, he was even more confused. Why would a spirit-detecting realm expert come to the secluded Spirit Mountain Villa? Could it be related to this treasure hunt? Lin Xian was surprised. Not only him but the entire Black Feather City also felt an oppressive aura. Many of the tycoons of the various forces were terrified as they looked in the direction of the Mansion of Spirits. For a time, all kinds of perception quickly probed in that direction. At this moment, the clouds above the Mansion of Spirits were rolling, and the faint roar of a dragon could be heard. The blood-colored radiance shone like a sun, piercing through the clouds. 3 ferocious and terrifying blood-colored flood dragons were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws in the clouds. Each of them was more than 30 meters long, and the blood-colored spiritual inscriptions on their bodies were clearly visible. That aura was even stronger than that of an ordinary spirit transformation realm warrior. Behind them was a black palanquin with 2 blood-colored flags on both sides. Flood dragons as slaves, iron blood flag. When everyone saw this scene, they were all stunned. Those warriors who wanted to scout quickly retracted their spiritual energy, afraid that they would disturb the person in the sky. Lin Xian also saw this scene from the window and his heart was in turmoil. They were actually rank 8 monsters comparable to the spirit transformation realm, and there were 3 of them. This was too terrifying. At this moment, all the major families in Black Feather City had given the order that no one was to go out tonight. Jiang Tianyu looked at the arrogant and huge shadow in the sky and sighed in his heart. He hoped that Lin Xian was fine. Otherwise, even if the head of the Jiang family came, it would be difficult to save him. Inside the mansion of spirits, Lin Xian stood in front of the window, unable to speak for a long time. This aura should belong to a spirit-detecting realm warrior, and it's at the peak of the spirit-detecting realm. Wine Lord said in a deep voice. Little Xian, don't act rashly, or I won't be able to save you. At this moment, a ghostly figure appeared behind Lin Xian and quickly brought him to the courtyard. That person was Master Ghost. He brought Lin Xian to the courtyard and then looked up at the sky. Welcome, Lord Iron Hand. Master Ghost was very respectful, and there was no trace of the coldness from before. Is everything ready? A dignified voice rang out. Then, a black figure descended from the sky and landed in the courtyard like a comet. The cold fog around them dissipated as if they were afraid of the figure in the center. Lin Xian stood behind Master Ghost and looked at the black figure in front of him. His muscles were tense and he couldn't breathe properly. It was a middle-aged man with a face as firm as a knife, and he had the aura of a superior. He was dressed in a black and red robe with a blood-colored flag that seemed to flutter in the wind. His body was completely hidden in the black robe, but his exposed hands were suffused with a bronze glow. My lord, this is Lin Xian, the person who will assist us, Master Ghost said respectfully from the side. Hearing this, the black-robed man looked at Lin Xian. His gaze was extremely deep, like 2 sharp swords that pierced through Lin Xian. Feeling this gaze, Lin Xian felt as if his body was fixed in the void and he couldn't move. What a terrifying gaze. Lin Xian was horrified. Under this gaze, it was as if all his secrets were exposed. Stimulated by this pressure, the great dragon sword will in Lin Xian's body roared and quickly resisted. However, in front of this black-robed man, the great dragon sword will lost its effect. Lin Xian only felt cold sweat dripping down his forehead. At this critical moment, the mysterious dagger in his body trembled slightly and emitted a gentle mysterious power. It wandered around Lin Xian's body and offset this pressure. Feeling the spiritual power in his body return to normal, he breathed a sigh of relief. Although it was just a glance, Lin Xian felt as if he had experienced 10,000 years. The black-robed man was slightly surprised. You're not affected. Interesting. Hearing this, Master Ghost's body trembled slightly, and he looked at Lin Xian with a horrified gaze. To be able to interest Lord Iron Hand, this young man was indeed not simple. Wuji at this moment, the snow-white monkey on Lin Xian's shoulder was also constantly gesturing. It was also not affected by the pressure. This little monkey is the key to our plan this time, Master Ghost explained. The black-robed man nodded slightly. Although I don't know what kind of mutant it is, it must be extraordinary to be able to ignore my pressure. Alright, there's no time to lose. Let's get started. The black-robed man didn't want to waste time. Master Ghost nodded, and then his palms began to clap rhythmically. Suddenly, dozens of black iron men covered in black light quickly walked out. Each of them held a blood-red flag in their hands, and they quickly rotated in different directions. This is a formation. Wine Lord felt this scene through Lin Xian's soul power and was slightly surprised. Chapter 399. The 12 iron men stood in all directions, waving the flags in their hands, forming a mysterious force. Suddenly, the fog in the courtyard rolled and covered the entire mansion of specters. Lin Xian realized that the fog was very viscous and could block the detection of soul power. It seemed that the black-robed man and Master Ghost did not want others to know what was going to happen. After forming a defensive array, the 12 iron men changed the flags in their hands again and unleashed the power of the array. Suddenly, a mysterious blood-red pattern appeared on the ground, emitting a shocking murderous aura. As the blood-red light became brighter, it was as if the gates of hell had opened, and a blood-red pit appeared. Lin Xian's eyes flashed and he could see the scene inside. There were mountains of bones and a sea of blood. Any one of the bones was the size of a small mountain. What is this place? Lin Xian was shocked. The bones did not look like a human's, but even demonic beasts would not be so big, right? These are all ancient beasts. It should be an ancient battlefield, Wine Lord said slowly. I did not expect an ancient battlefield to be buried under the Black Feather ancient city. No wonder I felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. Ancient battlefield? Lin Xian was very curious, but Wine Lord did not say much, so he could only suppress his curiosity. Compared to Lin Xian, the black-robed man and Master Ghost were much calmer. The two of them looked at the blood-red pit with a burning light in their eyes. Do you see that blood-red flag? That is our target this time, the black-robed man said. Even someone as powerful as him was excited by the sight of the blood-red pit. Lin Xian looked in the direction of the voice, and saw a rusty blood-red flag in the sea of bones. The flag was broken and only about 1/3 of it was left. If you can take out that flag, you will be the benefactor of the Great Flag Sect, the black-robed man said. Great Flag Sect. Lin Xian's eyelids twitched. That was one of the top forces in the Dragonstar Kingdom. Could this black-robed man be from the Great Flag Sect? Just as Lin Xian was surprised, the little monkey on his shoulder was also scratching its ears and cheeks. It was very anxious. What happened? Lin Xian was moved. He knew that the snow-white monkey was very special and could always find some mysterious treasures. But at this moment he didn't want anything to happen to the little white monkey. After comforting the little white monkey for a while, Lin Xian said softly, "If you think you can take out the flag, go ahead. If you can't afford it, don't force yourself." The little white monkey nodded and then looked anxiously at the bloody pit. The black-robed man took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "I can only open it for 3 breaths of time. If you don't come out after 3 breaths of time, you will stay inside forever." 3 breaths. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Then the black-robed man's hands, which were covered in bronze, condensed a large flag in the air. On the flag there were intersecting swords and sabers. With a wave of the flag, a destructive energy gushed out. Feeling this aura, Lin Xian's heart trembled. This aura was very violent. Even if a spirit transformation realm cultivator came into contact with it, they would definitely be turned into ashes. The violent energy bombarded the bloody pit and instantly tore open a millstone-sized crack. The little white monkey's body flickered and then disappeared. The next moment, its body appeared in the bloody pit. However, the little white monkey didn't rush towards the broken flag. Instead, it ran towards another corner that was filled with corpses. Lin Xian's expression changed greatly as he stared at the bloody pit. The black-robed man's expression also sank and a terrifying aura spread out from his body. The little white monkey moved quickly and dug out a tattered flag from the pile of bones. There were even cracks and gaps on it. The next moment, it put the small bowl on its head and quickly ran toward the bloody flag. In an instant, it arrived before the bloody flag and its furry paws picked up the rusty flagpole. "Hurry up, there's no time," the black-robed man whispered. His whole body was covered in bloody light as he waved the flag in his hand. The little white monkey's figure disappeared. At this moment, the 3 breaths of time were up. The bloody pit closed again and emitted a hellish aura. 1 breath, 2 breaths. The little white monkey's figure didn't appear. Could it be trapped inside? Lin Xian's face darkened as his soul power quickly spread out. The black-robed man also looked around and frowned. Sigh. He sighed heavily, and his eyes were filled with disappointment. At this moment, the void trembled and ripples appeared in the air. A white figure quickly appeared with a broken flag that was more than 2 meters long in its hand. The moment the flag appeared, the entire villa trembled as if there was an earthquake. The black-robed man's eyes changed from disappointment to shock. Finally he looked up and laughed. His hand quickly grabbed the flag. Suddenly, a bloody pillar of light shot up into the sky like a mountain. However, the black-robed man was faster. With a flip of his hand, he quickly put away the broken flag. A bloody pillar appeared in Blackfeather City and quickly rushed into the sky. The terrifying aura made all the strong people in Blackfeather City tremble. Ha 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 ha. The black-robed man laughed. On the opposite side, the little white monkey had a small bowl on its head. Its big gem-like eyes squinted into the shape of a crescent moon. Whoosh. It turned into a shadow and went into Lin Xian's storage ring. "Lin Xian, you are the savior of the Great Flag Sect. Now, I'm going to refine this flag. Take this flag and find me in Barren Flame City in 2 months. If you have any requests, just let me know." After that, the black-robed man's body swayed and quickly rushed to the black sedan in the sky. The 3 ferocious blood dragons roared into the sky and turned into bloody light, rushing into the sky and disappearing. "Barren Flame City," Lin Xian whispered, his eyes flickering. "I didn't expect it to work. Boy, your luck is here," Master Ghost said enviously. Iron Hand Master is a man of his word. He will definitely agree to any request you have. Any request? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. He had an idea in his mind. If he asked to join the Green Dragon Society, would Iron Hand Master agree and do it? What if my request is difficult? Lin Xian looked at Master Ghost and asked. Difficult? Master Ghost was stunned and then sneered. No matter how difficult it is, as long as Iron Hand Master wants to do it, he will definitely do it. Iron Hand Master is one of the top figures in the Dragonstar Kingdom. There is nothing he can't do. One of the top figures. Lin Xian was shocked. Iron Hand Master must be a high-ranking figure in the Great Flag sect. Lin Xian asked, Wine Lord, what kind of treasure is that Iron Blood flag? It can actually make a spirit detecting expert so excited. Also, what is that small bowl that Little White is holding? You will know these things in the future. Wine Lord seemed to be still immersed in the scene of the ancient battlefield and didn't want to say anything. Chapter 400. On the side, Master Ghost kept making hand seals, and the 12 black iron men quickly changed the formation. All of a sudden, the bloody light disappeared, and the horrifying bloody hole disappeared. The mansion of spirits returned to normal. After the 12 iron men left, Master Ghost looked at Lin Xian. Kid, I said before that if you succeed, I will give you a spiritual rank artifact. I will not go back on my words. Follow me. Finishing his words, he turned around and walked into the depths of the mansion of spirits. Spiritual rank sword. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Iron Hand Lord's promise was still an empty promise, but the spiritual rank sword mentioned by Master Ghost was a real treasure. Suppressing the joy in his heart, Lin Xian quickly followed. Soon the two arrived at a treasure room. Master Ghost pulled out a long sword from the pile of materials and weapons. The sword was 3 feet long and 3 fingers wide. It was blue in color, as dazzling as the stars. This sword is called Star Extinction. It was made with meteorite from outer space. It is a mid-rank spiritual rank sword. Lin Xian was ecstatic. Mid-rank spiritual rank, this sword was even higher than his black cloak. As a swordsman, he could naturally feel the powerful energy contained in the Star Extinction sword. Holding the long sword in his hand, Lin Xian slightly channeled his spirit power. Rays of blue sword chi flew out, quickly turning into fine sword marks, forming a full moon-like ripple in the air. Good sword. Lin Xian praised. The reason why artifacts were called artifacts was because they could increase a warrior's fighting power. Like this mid-rank spiritual rank artifact, Lin Xian estimated that it could increase his attacking power by 2 times. This was a very rare thing. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, a warrior's cultivation speed would slow down greatly, and the number of warriors in the same realm would increase greatly. In the same realm, whoever had a better weapon would be able to increase their strength greatly. Although the Dragonstar Strong country was vast, mid-rank spiritual rank artifacts were not as common as cabbages. Even in the Dragonstar Strong country, they were considered top-tier artifacts. Thank you for the sword, senior. Lin Xian said, then took out the black scabbard. This Star Extinction sword was similar to his Autumn Scar sword. It should be able to fit into the black scabbard. Clang. The star sword returned to its scabbard perfectly. However, when Master Ghost saw the black scabbard, his body trembled slightly. Kid, show him the black scabbard. Wine Lord transmitted. Lin Xian was slightly taken aback. At this moment, Master Ghost said excitedly, Kid, can you show me your scabbard? With Wine Lord's reminder, Lin Xian handed the black scabbard over without hesitation. The black scabbard was very simple and unadorned. It was pitch black all over like black jade. Moreover, it was enough to form the power of wind and thunder. Back then, Lin Xian had relied on it to unleash the wind and thunder sword technique. Now that he could use his own strength to unleash the power of wind and thunder, the black scabbard was no longer of much use to him. Next to him, Master Ghost stroked the black scabbard gently, using a special method to quickly examine it. What an exquisite scabbard. This should be an ancient item. Master Ghost exclaimed. Kid, where did you get this scabbard? He had gotten it from a street stall in the past. Lin Xian did not explain in detail. This scabbard contains the power of wind and thunder. If you put it into a long sword of the same element, it will be greatly nourished. As time goes by, it might be able to increase the grade of the longsword. Master Ghost said. Increase the grade? That's so magical. Lin Xian was surprised. When he used the scabbard before, he did not feel anything special about it. Perhaps it was because the Autumn Scar sword did not have any element to begin with. The inside of the scabbard is a bit damaged, but I can fix it. If you can get a sword of the wind and thunder element with this scabbard, your strength will definitely increase tremendously. Master Ghost continued, this Star of Extinction sword can be said to be of the thunder element, because the meteorite that made it contains powerful thunder. If you can find a sword of the wind element, then this scabbard will be perfect. Lin Xian was a bit confused. A sword of the wind and thunder element? But there is only one scabbard. One scabbard with two swords. You don't even know this? Master Ghost said with disdain. Alright, leave it with me. Give me 3 days. I guarantee that I will make your eyes light up. As he finished speaking, Master Ghost hurried Lin Xian out. Trust him. With his strength he should be able to do it. Wine Lord said. Can that black scabbard really hold 2 swords? Lin Xian was still doubtful. Yes, I have even seen a scabbard with 3 swords. Wine Lord said, your scabbard should be a replica of that thing. Whatever. You just need to find a sword of the wind element. Being able to increase his strength, Lin Xian was naturally happy. The stronger he was, the higher his chances of winning the championship in the Green Dragon Gathering. As long as he won the championship, he would be able to sense the direction of the Great Dragon Sword after merging with the True Dragon Chi. The Great Dragon Sword, that was his final goal. While waiting for Master Ghost for 3 days, Lin Xian trained step by step. After 3 days, Master Ghost floated into Lin Xian's room like a ghost. Here. He threw the black scabbard over. Lin Xian caught it and inserted the Star of Extinction sword. With his outstanding soul power, he could feel that the Star of Extinction sword seemed to be letting out a carefree cry. This phenomenon was rarely seen in the past. Lin Xian looked over and saw that the black scabbard had unknowingly become 2 sword slots. The Star of Extinction sword occupied one of them, leaving the other one. A sword of the wind element? Lin Xian touched his chin and tried hard to recall. He had never heard of a sword of the wind element in the Dragon Star Strong country. Forget it. Since you have helped Master Iron Hand, I will give you a piece of information for free. Master Ghost said. There is a map here. Legend has it that a wind shadow sword is buried here. If you feel that you are strong enough, you can go and try. After saying that, Master Ghost tossed out another yellowed scroll. Wind shadow sword, what rank is that? Lin Xian asked. Don't worry, it is definitely not lower than the Star of Extinction sword. Master Ghost was full of confidence. Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. The Star of Extinction sword was a mid-tier spiritual rank treasure. It was not lower than the Wind Shadow sword, so it was at least a mid-tier spiritual rank treasure. Looking at Master Ghost's expression, it might even be higher. Opening the yellowed scroll, Lin Xian found that the information on it was very detailed. At the same time, he took out the map of the Dragon Star Strong country that he had obtained earlier and began to compare it seriously. Baiyun Mountain was in the west of the Dragon Star Strong country, and it was also the only way to get to Barren Flame City. Since we are going to Barren Flame City, why don't we go to Baiyun Mountain first? Lin Xian thought to himself. Thank you for your guidance, Senior. I want to leave now and prepare to go to Baiyun Mountain immediately. Go, I also want to study a new puppet, Master Ghost said. Soon Lin Xian left the Spirit Villa and walked out of the city with Blackfeather. Recently, the various forces in Blackfeather City had been very quiet, but they were secretly paying attention to every move of the Spirit Villa. Chapter 401. Some of the major forces wanted the spiritual void pill, so they wanted to invite Lin Xian over. However, Lin Xian was very fast and did not seem to have any intention of staying in Blackfeather City. Those forces were afraid of the Mansion of Spirits and did not continue to follow Lin Xian. However, a small group of forces continued to follow. The leader wore a black robe with a golden eagle on it. It was the young master of the Eagle Fortress, Ying Xiaoxiong. At this moment he led 8 martial arts experts and rushed toward Lin Xian. I must get the spiritual void pill. Ying Xiaoxiong's face was fierce. He only had one purpose for getting the spiritual void pill, and that was to be a match for Jianghu. That kid is speeding up. Hurry up and catch up. Lin Xian was in a hurry, so he was faster than usual. It did not take long for him to leave Blackfeather City. During this time he had received many invitations, but he had politely rejected them. He did not come to Dragonstar to refine pills for these people. Not long after leaving Blackfeather City and entering the forest, Lin Xian frowned. Relying on his soul power, he could clearly feel that there was a team behind him that was quickly approaching him. It's this guy. When Lin Xian saw Ing Xiaoxiong, he raised his eyebrows. Ing Xiaoxiong had opposed him during the Jiang family's meeting. Lin Xian did not have a good impression of this person. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The people behind him suddenly accelerated and turned into colorful lights, instantly overtaking Lin Xian. Whoosh. In just a moment, these people surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian stopped in his tracks, his body was as straight as the heavens. He turned around and looked at Ing Xiaoxiong with a trace of killing intent in his eyes. Ing Xiaoxiong's voice was cold. If you know what's good for you, follow me back to refined pills. As long as you can refine the spiritual void pill, I can guarantee that you'll be fine. This is not the Eagle Fortress, and it's not a place where you can order people around. Get out of here or you'll have to bear the consequences. Lin Xian said coldly. Lin Xian was not a member of the Eagle Stronghold, so Ing Xiaoxiong's commanding words made him extremely unhappy. Brat, don't be arrogant. Don't think that you're amazing just because you can refine pills. Besides, even if I kill you in the wilderness, no one will know. So, your best choice is to obediently follow me back. With that, Ing Xiaoxiong looked at Lin Xian with a mocking expression. In his opinion, if Lin Xian wanted to keep his life, he would definitely follow him back obediently. After all, he had brought 8 elite warriors with him, and he himself was a late harmonious spirit warrior. With such a lineup, Lin Xian, an early harmonious spirit realm warrior, would not be able to escape. 8 harmonious spirit realm warriors surrounded Lin Xian. Their bodies emitted a terrifying and powerful aura. When the aura gathered together, it caused the void to tremble. Lin Xian glanced around and found out that the strongest among them was a mid-harmonious spirit realm warrior. The remaining 6 were early harmonious spirit realm warriors. Such a lineup would be considered as a tyrant in Xia country, but right now they were only hired thugs. One had to admit that Longxing country was very strong in martial arts. It was not something that Xia country and other countries could compare with. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. Don't provoke me. You won't be able to bear the consequences. Lin Xian said coldly. You don't want to do this? Go. Ing Xiaoxiong shouted. Immediately the 8 warriors rushed forward. Heavenly Eagle Hand. Great Sorrow Heaven-Splitting Palm. For a moment, all kinds of attacks were thrown at Lin Xian. Even a late harmonious spirit realm warrior would not be able to withstand these attacks. However, Lin Xian just waited coldly. When these attacks were about to reach him, he suddenly pulled out his sword with his right hand. Buzz! A blue sword light flashed and appeared in the sky, drawing a half-moon trajectory. Wind Thunder Sword Wave. With Lin Xian as the center, a blue sword wave quickly spread out in all directions. This sword wave contained 50% of the Great Dragon Sword intent. Its attacking power was extremely strong. With the help of the Star Extinction Sword, a mid-grade Zhong Spirit Realm treasure, even a late harmonious Spirit Realm warrior would not dare to take this attack head-on. Buff, buff, buff. The defense in front of 3 warriors was ruthlessly torn apart. The blue sword light split them in half. The other 3 warriors were sent flying while vomiting blood. They were severely injured and had lost their ability to fight. 1 sword wave, 3 dead and 3 injured. This horrifying scene immediately stunned the other 2 mid-harmonious spirit realm warriors and Ing Xiaoxiong's group. What is this kid's background? He doesn't look like an alchemist at all. The 2 mid-harmonious spirit realm warriors were sweating profusely. Ing Xiaoxiong's face was also gloomy. Although the Eagle Fortress was strong, harmonious spirit realm warriors were not like cabbages. How dare you kill the people of the Eagle Fortress? You will die today. Ing Xiaoxiong's voice was filled with killing intent. Young master, this kid is stronger than we thought. Should we retreat first? No need. His sword should be a mid-grade spiritual rank treasure. I think he relied on that treasure to attack just now. You guys help me from the side. I will do it myself. Ing Xiaoxiong took a step forward. His aura was like an erupting volcano. The shadow of a goshawk appeared behind him. It was extremely sharp. Don't think that you are the only one who has a mid-grade spiritual rank treasure. I will let you know the true power of a mid-grade spiritual rank treasure. After saying that, Ing Xiaoxiong took out a pair of dark green gloves and put them on his hands. Space-splitting cross attack. Ing Xiaoxiong's body was like an arrow leaving the bow. He quickly rushed out and waved his hand in the air. The air trembled. A few 10-meter-long blood-red claw marks appeared. The void was torn apart by the claw marks. Lin Xian's feet flashed and his body suddenly disappeared. A few deep claw marks appeared at the place where he was standing before. Each of the claw marks was like a sword cutting through the earth. Let's see how long you can hide. Ing Xiaoxiong waved both of his claws. Countless goshawks flew up and surrounded Lin Xian. Thunderclap. Lin Xian held the star extinction sword tightly with both of his hands. The tip of the sword faced the sky and suddenly fell down. Suddenly the clouds in the sky rolled. 5 blue lightning formed a pentagram and fell down. Clang, clang, clang. The goshawk shadow beside him was hit by the lightning and made a metallic sound. The lightning dispersed, and the shadows of the goshawks that filled the sky disappeared. Ing Xiaoxiong and Lin Xian were hit by the energy and both of them took 3 steps back. At this time, 2 mid-harmonious spirit warriors suddenly attacked from both sides of Lin Xian. 2 30-meter-long blood-red eagle claws swept across the sky, grabbing at Lin Xian. Wind Emperor's Sword. Lin Xian's body suddenly rotated and quickly rushed out. He used the wind mentality and merged it with the Wind Emperor's Sword. There was no dazzling sword light or terrifying aura. This sword was like a gentle breeze that no one noticed. When Lin Xian appeared again, the pupils of the 2 mid-harmonious spirit warriors gradually enlarged. Their faces were filled with fear. Plop. A line of blood appeared between their eyebrows. Their bodies slowly fell down. On the opposite side, Ing Xiaoxiong's pupils shrank. He looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. The sword just now was too ordinary. He didn't notice it at all. However, such an ordinary sword strike had killed 2 mid-harmonious spirit realm warriors. Chapter 402. He was no longer as arrogant as before because the 8 elite warriors he brought with him had all fallen. Lin Xian had only swung his sword 3 times throughout the whole process. The 3 sword strikes seemed simple, but they were filled with endless killing intent. Each sword strike contained 50% of the fire monkey's great dragon sword intent, and the last strike was infused with the wind concept. Even a late harmonious spirit realm warrior would not dare to take on such an attack, let alone a mid-harmonious spirit realm warrior. Brat, consider yourself lucky this time. Don't let me see you again. Ing Xiaoxiong snorted and turned to leave. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? Lin Xian's cloak fluttered as he appeared in front of Ing Xiaoxiong. How dare you block my way? You're courting death. Ing Xiaoxiong was furious. Who was he? He was the young lord of Eagle Fortress. Normally he was the one who bullied others in Blackfeather City. No one was like Lin Xian and dared to block his way. What do you want? Ing Xiaoxiong asked coldly. What do I want? Lin Xian sneered. You brought people to kill me and now you want to leave because you can't beat me? How can there be such an easy thing in this world? I, Lin Xian, am not a pushover. If you want to kill me you'll have to pay the price. Price? What price do you want? I am the young lord of Eagle Fortress. What can you do to me? Ing Xiaoxiong became arrogant again. If you want to kill someone you should be prepared to be killed. Lin Xian pulled out his star extinction sword. You dare to kill me? Ing Xiaoxiong laughed. Aren't you afraid of Eagle Fortress revenge? Do you think I'll return to Blackfeather City? Lin Xian said coldly. Today I'll teach you a lesson. You'll have to pay the price for what you've done. A blue sword light suddenly flashed out as fast as lightning. Flying Rainbow, the 4th style of Azure Cloud Sword Art. With the support of Lin Xian's 5 cities dragon sword intent, the sword light was like a rainbow in the sky, floating down. Eagle splitting the sky. Ing Xiaoxiong's aura burst out as he also unleashed a terrifying attack. As a late harmonious spirit realm warrior, Ing Xiaoxiong's strength was extraordinary. Coupled with the fact that he also had a mid-grade spirit treasure, this attack was extremely terrifying. You want to kill me? You're too naive. Ing Xiaoxiong laughed madly. I also have a mid-grade spirit step artifact, and my cultivation is 2 levels higher than yours. How are you going to kill me? I will capture you personally and turn you into a pill slave so that you can refine pills for our Eagle Castle forever. Resisting Lin Xian's sword chi, Ing Xiaoxiong's confidence soared. Eagle soars the earth. He soared into the air and made strange movements in the air. Like a goshawk he pounced towards Lin Xian. An indescribable power appeared, and at this moment, Ing Xiaoxiong was truly like a heavenly eagle, spreading his wings and soaring. The terrifying aura was vast and mighty, and a gale swept up within 100 meters. The momentum was shocking. Flying Star. Looking at the terrifying attack in the sky, Lin Xian once again used his ultimate skill. 70% of the great dragon sword intent gushed out. Lin Xian turned into a meteor and soared into the sky. At this moment, his whole body was burning with a dark blue light, dragging a long tail of light, drawing a strange arc in the sky. Swoosh. The whole sky seemed to have been split into two, and a large area of vacuum appeared. Ing Xiaoxiong's body trembled and froze in the air. He lowered his head slightly and saw that the defensive barrier in front of his body had been completely shattered, and a fist-sized bloody hole had appeared in his chest. He wanted to open his mouth but could only spit out blood. He was unwilling, extremely unwilling. Ing Xiaoxiong's pupils were dilated, and his face was filled with fear. He felt that his consciousness was rapidly weakening. At this moment he suddenly regretted his actions. If he didn't provoke Lin Xian, perhaps he wouldn't have died now. But time couldn't be reversed and he could only pay the price for his mistake. Boom. Ing Xiaoxiong's body fell from the sky and smashed onto the ground. Lin Xian quickly flashed, took his storage ring and the pair of middle-grade spiritual gloves, and then used thunder and lightning to burn the body to ashes. Although he wasn't afraid of being hunted down by the Eagle Fortress, he didn't want to attract unnecessary trouble for himself. The other bodies were also disposed of. After doing all this, Lin Xian quickly hurried and disappeared into the forest. Far away from Blackfeather City, Lin Xian summoned the Golden Frog, and began to search Ing Xiaoxiong's storage ring. It had to be said that as the young fort lord of the Eagle Castle, Ing Xiaoxiong was extremely wealthy. Just the middle-grade spirit stones he carried with him were more than 30,000. In addition, he also had some spiritual martial arts techniques. Of course, the most expensive thing was the pair of middle-grade spiritual gloves. Although he didn't need them, he could sell them for a lot of middle-grade spirit stones. After putting away the storage ring, Lin Xian began to cultivate. Half a month later he arrived at the Baiyin mountain range. Looking at the misty Baiyin mountain range, Lin Xian took a deep breath. In this half a month, his cultivation had improved again. The art of longevity was indeed a magical technique. It allowed him to improve again in just half a month. Opening the yellowed scroll, Lin Xian looked for the marked location on the map. According to the scroll, the Wind Shadow Sword was in a tomb, and this tomb was the tomb of a spirit-detecting expert called the Evil King. The 32nd Mountain. Lin Xian looked at the mountains, then put away the scroll and patted Xiao Jin. His body turned into an afterimage and rushed toward the mountain. The Baiyin mountain range was covered in dense forests. Birds, beasts and apes cried, and it was full of vitality. In the mountains, there was a group of martial artists with steady footsteps rushing toward the 32nd Mountain. This group of people had dark red killing intent on their bodies. Their faces were ferocious, and it was obvious that they weren't good people. "Second Master, is there really a treasure here?" A few of the martial artists asked. "It can't be wrong. It took me a long time to find this information. There must be a peerless treasure here. After I get those treasures, I will no longer be the Second Master. I will be the real leader of the Black Tiger Gang. You are all heroes who have helped me. After I become the leader, I will reward you." "Thank you, boss." The group of martial artists was excited. The one leading the group was a middle-aged man with messy brown hair. There was a cross-shaped scar on his face, which made people feel intimidated. This middle-aged man's aura had reached the peak of the harmonious spirit realm. He was very powerful. The martial artists behind him were also at the harmonious spirit realm. None of them were weak. This group of people was also looking for the Evil King's tomb. "Boss, what is in the tomb?" a young martial artist asked. The middle-aged man looked back. "You just broke through to the harmonious spirit realm. It's normal that you don't know." The Evil King Yu Xiangchuan was very famous in the Longxing country. He didn't care whether he was righteous or evil. He did everything according to his personal preference. That was why he offended many forces. However, his cultivation was very high. He had reached the late stage of the spirit-detecting realm. Ordinary forces in the Longxing country couldn't do anything to him. Later on, there were experts from the top forces who tried to encircle him, but he still managed to escape. However, after that battle he was seriously injured and went into seclusion. It was said that he had the 4 ultimate skills of wind, flower, snow and moon. After his death, these 4 ultimate skills were buried in his tomb. Chapter 403. As long as I can find one of them, I won't be afraid of Wang Hu anymore. The brown-haired man said. I heard that the Evil King called himself the Flower Sect. Who knows how many beauties of the Dragonstar Kingdom he had raped. If boss can get this technique, you will be happy. Ah. The brown-haired man laughed wildly and led the group to the 32nd Mountain. Soon this group of vicious people arrived at the top of a steep mountain. The entrance to the Evil King's tomb should be around here. Hurry up and find it, the brown-haired man ordered. The group dispersed and began to search for the legendary Evil King's tomb. There's someone. A disciple of the Black Tiger gang noticed the situation. Boss, there's someone in front. The brown-haired man's eyes widened. He quickly gathered his men and led them forward. The group moved forward cautiously. They saw a young man in a black robe standing at the top of the mountain. He seemed to be looking for something. Kid, who are you? Why are you here? A skinny man next to the brown-haired man shouted. The young man in black robe turned around and glanced at the group with a sharp gaze. Those who were glanced at felt a chill in their hearts as if they were pierced by the sword light. Even the brown-haired man frowned. What a sharp gaze. This young man was Lin Xian, who came to find the Wind Shadow Sword. He looked at the people behind him and raised his eyebrows. The others were ignored, but the brown-haired man made him feel pressured. Peak of the harmonious spirit realm. Lin Xian's heart sank. His current strength was enough to defeat a late harmonious spirit realm expert, but there was still a gap between him and a peak harmonious spirit realm expert. But even if he couldn't defeat them, he couldn't leave them. Who are you? What are you doing here? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. Seeing that Lin Xian didn't answer and instead asked a question, the disciples of the Black Tiger gang were furious. But they didn't dare to be presumptuous when they thought of the sharp gaze from before. The brown-haired man snorted, just an early harmonious spirit realm brat. I will be kind and spare your life today. Get lost. With just you? Lin Xian sneered. A sharp aura gushed out. Immediately the sky changed color. Everyone felt a shocking sword chi as if it was going to split them in half. What a terrifying sword chi. Who is this person? How could he be so powerful? The Black Tiger gang's hearts palpitated. They could not remember when such a powerful young man had appeared in the White Cloud Mountain range. The brown-haired man's eyes were gloomy. His cultivation was the highest, so he could sense the difference. This sword chi contained an indestructible will, like a slumbering ferocious beast. This aura, could it be sword intent? The brown-haired man was bewildered. Forget it. Maybe he's just a disciple of some big sect passing by. There's no need to cause trouble. The Evil King's tomb is more important. The brown-haired man ignored Lin Xian. I have something to do today. Count yourself lucky. Let's go and take a look at other places. Soon these people left. Could it be that these people are also here to look for the Evil King's tombstone? Lin Xian was puzzled. Could it be that more than one person knew about this? Shaking his head, Lin Xian stopped thinking about these things. The most important thing right now was to find the entrance to the Evil King's tomb. Lin Xian spread out his soul power and quickly scanned the surroundings. At the same time, Wine Lord could also sense everything that was going on outside from the mysterious little sword. Although Lin Xian did not know how to find the Evil King's tomb, with Wine Lord's ability, he should be able to find it. How is it? Lin Xian asked. Found it. It's 350 meters ahead. Wine Lord said. 350 meters ahead? Lin Xian was stunned. It was no wonder that he was shocked. He was now standing near the cliff. 350 meters ahead of him was a bottomless abyss. Lord Alcohol, are you sure you're not mistaken? Lin Xian asked again. How is that possible? Who am I? Wine Lord snorted. Anyway, I've already told you the entrance. It's up to you whether you want to go in or not. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Although harmonious spirit realm warriors could fly, this cliff was very strange. There was an inexplicable suction force below that could suck living things down. Not long ago, Lin Xian saw a 7th-grade demonic bird being pulled down the cliff. Forget it. Since Wine Lord said so, then so be it. Lin Xian spread out his soul power and quickly found the corresponding position. According to Wine Lord, there could not be any difference in this position. Otherwise he would be sucked down the cliff by the suction force. Found it. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He then jumped up into the sky. This scene was seen by the Black Tiger gang. Damn, it's a stupid kid who wants to jump off the cliff. What bad luck. A group of people cursed. However, Lin Xian was not sucked into the abyss as they expected. Instead, he suddenly disappeared in mid-air. What happened? The Black Tiger gang disciples were confused. The brown-haired man's face was gloomy. He quickly rushed to the edge of the cliff. Unfortunately, he did not find anything. Could it be the entrance to the Evil King's tomb? The brown-haired man was surprised. It was said that the entrance to the tomb was very strange. Ordinary people would not be able to find it. Moreover, they had been searching here for half a day, but they did not find anything suspicious. However, that young man disappeared into thin air. He could not help but be suspicious. You try. The middle-aged man said to the warrior beside him. Boss, this is a bottomless abyss. Even a harmonious spirit realm warrior would be sucked to the bottom. The disciple said with a sobbing tone. What are you afraid of? The middle-aged man shouted coldly. That kid went in. This must be the entrance. Hurry up and open the way for me. Be boss. The warrior still wanted to say something, but he was kicked away by the middle-aged man. Ah! He screamed and his body flew forward in a parabola. The strength of the kick was a little too strong. Even though he adjusted his body in the air, the inexplicable suction force locked him down and dragged him down. The miserable scream echoed at the bottom of the mountain. It made everyone's hair stand on end. Motherfucker, that's too much strength. The brown-haired man cursed in a low voice. Who saw the distance that kid jumped? Hurry up and come here. After sacrificing 3 warriors, the Black Tiger gang finally found the mysterious entrance. Fuck. Why is it in such a dangerous place? The evil king is really a bastard. The group cursed in their hearts. This was the rhythm of sending them to their deaths. However, they finally found the evil king's tomb. The sacrifice was worth it. Follow me. The middle-aged man shouted and quickly jumped into the tomb. The other warriors also jumped in one after another. However, not long after the brown-haired man jumped in, 2 figures quickly rushed up from the bottom of the mountain. Chapter 404. It was a man and a woman. The man was wearing a long robe and a silver mask with golden patterns on his face. He looked mysterious. The woman's face was like a peach blossom. She was wearing an emerald green dress and 2 accessories made of bones on her hands. The 2 looked at the Black Tiger gang's warriors who were entering the tomb and sneered. Old thing, you really know how to find a place. You actually put the tomb in this place. The mysterious masked man said coldly. Senior brother, don't be angry. We found it anyway. The emerald green girl said in a sweet voice. At this moment, the Black Tiger gang's disciples who had not entered the tomb turned around. What are you doing? This is the Black Tiger gang's territory. Get out of here or I will kill you all. What a beautiful girl. Why don't you play with me? The warriors laughed evilly. Soon, they couldn't laugh anymore because the mysterious young man with the half-mask was emitting a terrifying aura. Spirit Transformation Realm Warrior. The Black Tiger gang's disciples' faces changed. They quickly jumped toward the entrance of the tomb. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Several pink flower petals flew out, drawing a strange arc in the air and piercing the warriors' bodies. Suddenly, the warriors' bodies stiffened. Pink light rushed out from their bodies. Finally, their bodies were split into several pieces and exploded. It only took a moment for them to escape and die. They didn't even have time to scream. This was the power of a Spirit Transformation Realm Warrior. He could instantly kill a harmonious Spirit Realm Warrior. Let's go and see what's so special about our teacher's tomb. The masked man said. If someone was here they would definitely scream. These 2 were the disciples of evil King Yu Xiangchuan. The 2 of them quickly entered the King of Evil's tomb. Ripples appeared in the air and spread out like a whirlpool. When Lin Xian came back to his senses he found himself in a strange space. There was the sound of water flowing in front of him. He could hear it from far away. There is the sound of water. What a magical place. Lin Xian exclaimed. He remembered that he jumped into the sky but ended up in this place. It seems like this is a small, sealed space. Spirit-detecting realm cultivators don't have the ability to open up spaces, so this place must have been discovered by that person by chance, Wine Lord said. However, he actually dares to call himself the evil king. He sure has guts. Fortunately, this is a remote place. If he were on the other continent, he would have been killed with a single palm strike. Wine Lord muttered to himself. Lin Xian tapped his feet lightly and flew out like a rainbow. Soon he arrived at the riverbank. It was a large black river. The river water was torrential and it flowed endlessly. However, with his outstanding soul power, Lin Xian sensed a cold and corrosive aura from the lake. That feeling was somewhat similar to that of the Yinshuanhe. However, it was even more sinister than the Yinshan River. Whoosh, whoosh. The sound of something breaking through the air came from behind, and several figures landed quickly. Brat, you really came to explore the evil king's tomb. The brown-haired man looked at Lin Xian, his eyes cold. Yes, so what? Lin Xian was not afraid at all. Even if the opponent was a peak harmonious spirit realm cultivator, as long as he wanted to leave, the man would not be able to stop him. Moreover, this strange space was very wide so the man could not seal him. Humph. The middle-aged man harumphed coldly. You? An early harmonious spirit realm cultivator dares to touch the evil king's tomb? You really have guts. Let's see if I dare or not. Lin Xian held the black scabbard tightly. Just as the battle was about to break out, the snow-white monkey suddenly jumped out and sat on Lin Xian's shoulder. Its furry little head was holding the worn-out bowl. Its black gem-like eyes kept looking around. Then it took out 2 dice and threw them into the bowl. Ding dong. The 2 dice shook and finally stopped. Wuji, the snow-white monkey held the bowl again and pointed to the right. Lin Xian frowned. Since when did this guy become a fraud? Seeing that Lin Xian did not believe it, the snow-white monkey jumped up in anger. All right, I believe you. Ignoring the Black Tiger gang, Lin Xian's body swayed and ran to the right like a ghost. The people on the Black Tiger list were dumbfounded. How could such a big man believe a monkey? This was too much of a joke. You ran fast enough, or else I would have let you know the power of my iron fist. The middle-aged man harumphed coldly. You 3 follow him and see what he is up to. The rest of you follow me to the left. The middle-aged man led a group of people to the left side of the river, while the other 3 quickly followed Lin Xian. Under the snow-white monkey's guidance, Lin Xian ran all the way. Along the way the light was dim, but with his outstanding soul power he was safe. Splash! Stepping into the pool of water, Lin Xian's body moved horizontally. At this moment, the black liquid in the pool suddenly emitted a black light. Countless black needles flew out from the pool and attacked Lin Xian. Get lost! Lin Xian bent his finger and flicked it backwards. A blue half-moon lake sword energy rushed out from his back and hit the black needles. Dang dang dang. All the black needles were cut off. Suddenly Lin Xian felt a sense of danger. His black cloak fluttered and his body moved 10 meters to the side to dodge. Dozens of black curved light blades bombarded the place where he was standing. After dodging these strange attacks, Lin Xian was shocked. He quickly turned around and covered his body with silver lightning body. Suddenly, a black figure rose from the pool. Liquid kept dripping from his body. An aura comparable to a mid-harmonious spirit realm expert was emitted. What is this thing? Lin Xian was shocked. He didn't feel that there was a living person in the pool. I'm afraid it's derived from the corpse dissolving water. It's normal that you can't feel it. Wine Lord explained. With your strength, it shouldn't be hard to deal with him. Thunder Tyrant Fist. Lin Xian swung his fist again and unleashed a bolt of silver lightning. At the same time, his 5 fingers formed into a claw, forming a huge palm in the air and grabbing at the black figure. Above him, the silver palm was like a small mountain, bringing with it an endless pressure. Go! The black figure suddenly opened his mouth. The mouth was dozens of meters long. His sharp black teeth were like 2 rows of cutting machines, glowing with a dark light. He bit at the silver palm in the sky. At the same time he swung his 2 arms forward. They instantly lengthened and slapped at Lin Xian. This strange attack was not something that a human could perform. Moon Break. Lin Xian placed the Star Extinction Sword in front of his chest and drew out a half-moon arc. A blue sword light quickly flew out like a blue moon and hit the lengthened arms. Chi-chi. The 2 collided, producing the sound of fire and water mixing. The long black arm quickly melted the half-moon sword energy. The half-moon sword energy contained the great dragon sword intent and quickly destroyed the black arm. Chapter 405. The sword intent was invincible. This was not a boast, it was the truth. The great dragon sword intent represented an offensive saint art. It could even kill strange creatures like the corpse dissolving water. The black creature felt Lin Xian's great dragon sword intent and was frightened like a mouse. It was no longer attacking but quickly turned into a puddle of water and ran towards the ground. Trying to run away? Lin Xian used his wind intent and dragon counterstep to reach the extreme. He arrived in front of the black creature in a flash. Lightning intertwined as he waved his palms. A huge cage enveloped the creature. In a flash, dozens of lightning bolts drilled into the black creature's body. Drip drip. The black creature turned into a puddle of black water and fell to the ground, returning to the black river. After dealing with the black creature, Lin Xian ran towards the right again. After a while, his speed gradually decreased because a stone cave appeared in front of him. The stone cave was blocked by a thick and heavy stone door. It was covered with vines. It seemed like it had not been opened for a long time. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. He was slightly happy. It seemed like the little white monkey was not bad. He wanted to go forward and check, but a few sneers came from behind him. I didn't expect you to be so lucky. You actually found a treasure cave. This cave is ours. You can get lost now. The voice was so domineering that it did not put Lin Xian in its eyes at all. Lin Xian turned around and found 3 mid-harmonious spirit realm warriors standing not far away. They formed a triangle with a fixed distance between each other. The advantage of this was that they could attack or retreat, forming a small group. Obviously, the 3 of them were battle veterans. You want this treasure cave? Lin Xian showed a faint smile. Cut the crap and get lost. Otherwise you will stay here forever. The 3 of them emitted 3 waves of qi that merged into one. It was like 1,000 zhang tall mountain, pressing down on Lin Xian. To be honest, they were shocked by Lin Xian's sword intent when they were outside. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so cautious when facing an early harmonious spirit brat. However, the 3 of them were very confident that they could defeat a late harmonious spirit warrior with their combined attack. However, Lin Xian possessed 70% of the Great Dragon Sword intent, so he was not afraid of their combined attacks. With a cold snort, Lin Xian's gigantic sword shadow appeared behind his back, pressing down on the 3,000 zhang tall mountain like a heavenly pillar. Rumble. The void trembled as if a huge explosion had occurred. Under the horrified gazes of the 3, Lin Xian's firmament sword slashed the 1,000-foot-tall mountain in half as if it was tofu. Then, with a boundless aura, it pressed down on the 3. Retreat. Their expressions changed drastically as they retreated at lightning speed. Wind Emperor's sword. Since he had made his move, Lin Xian had no reason to stop. The absolute star sword turned into a cold light and blended into the void. After comprehending the wind intent, his understanding of the wind had become more skillful. He could unleash a profound sword art with just a raise of his hand. His sword pierced toward a man wearing a blue scarf. There was no sword light or terrifying aura, it was like a gust of wind. The absolute star sword arrived in front of the man in a flash. Block it. The warrior wearing the blue scarf shouted crazily. Both of his palms converged in front of him. The surrounding spiritual energy was pulled over like flowing water, forming a thick spiritual energy defense in front of him. An earthy yellow light surged out of his body, and ancient patterns appeared in the air. He even has an inner armor. Lin Xian was slightly surprised. The long sword in his hand became even sharper. 50% of the sword intent exploded, and the wind intent was also integrated into it. Crack, crack, crack. 3 cracking sounds were heard. The absolute star sword instantly pierced through the spiritual energy barrier. Immediately after, the man's defensive inner armor was also split in 2. His body's defense was even weaker, and a terrifying bloody hole appeared. The man wearing the blue scarf flew out. It seemed that he would not survive. At this moment, the 2 companions beside him suddenly attacked Lin Xian. They attacked viciously. One of them attacked Lin Xian's head. It was a mace that was as thick as an arm. It was like a small mountain, smashing toward Lin Xian. The other person kicked Lin Xian's waist. At the same time, 2 hidden weapons were shot toward Lin Xian's eyes. The 2 of them cooperated well, and in an instant they attacked quickly. Returning Wind Whisk's willow sword. Lin Xian held his long sword in front of him and spun it quickly. The wind intent spread out. The indestructible absolute star sword seemed to have become a soft willow twig, circling around him. Da, da, da. All the attacks were blocked by the sword screen. The returning Wind Whisk's willow sword was a consummate skill of the Sword Pool Mansion. At this moment, under the effect of Lin Xian's wind intent, its power was even more powerful. The blue sword light was like a willow twig swaying in the air. It was hard and soft, and it was impossible to guard against. The martial artist on the left was swept by the absolute star sword. Dozens of sword chi instantly wrapped around him. Instantly, countless sword marks appeared on his body, and blood splattered everywhere. Flying willow kill. The long sword moved, and the sword chi in the sky floated like willow catkins. There was no pattern to it. The other person tried his best to dodge, but he was still pierced by countless sword chi. After easily dealing with the 3 of them, Lin Xian put away the absolute star sword and walked toward the stone door. The stone door was tightly sealed. There must be a formation mechanism. Little Xian, let me test you. See how you've learned? Wine Lord smiled. During his free time, 9th Master imparted all his knowledge to Lin Xian. And now was a good time to test Lin Xian. Okay. Lin Xian nodded slightly, then walked back and forth with his hands behind his back. His gaze quickly swept around and he quickly found something. There are no obvious mechanisms. It should be a secret groove or a formation mechanism. According to my observations, the mechanism should be on this stone door. Lin Xian's left hand released lightning and touched the stone door. Instantly, the withered vine turned to ashes and fell to the ground. He placed his palm on it and carefully examined it. There really is a formation. Lin Xian sensed it. Then, his fingers moved and several inscriptions entered the stone door. Suddenly, obscure patterns appeared on the stone door, quickly forming 3 small holes. Each hole was as thick as a chopstick. It's done. Lin Xian's face was filled with joy. Not bad. Wine Lord nodded slightly. Looks like you've understood everything I taught you. Lin Xian smiled and injected spiritual power into the 3 holes. Suddenly the entire stone door trembled. The stone door opened, revealing an even wider space. Lin Xian's body flashed and he entered the stone door. Just as Lin Xian entered, 2 more figures appeared in the evil king's tomb. It was the man and woman who called the evil king their master. The 2 of them looked around with excited expressions. He's in, he's finally in. The mysterious man with the half-mask took out a jade scroll and quickly compared it. Soon, the 2 of them swayed and rushed to the right. However, not long after the 2 of them left, 2 more figures came in and quickly disappeared. These 2 figures were very fast. They didn't stop at all. One could only see the 2 figures, one white and one red, enter and disappear from the riverbank. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.